Vannon, are you here? I heard a little bit from you, Vannon. I don't know
Yeah,
if that
I'm
was
here.
okay. I heard a slightest bit from you. And Park is currently here, also known as Vrek.
I'll go Rick.
Harry is talking to the Raven Queen right now, and they're currently enjoying some time off. So, Harry will be mostly a quiet sort for now, but will continue to have conversation with you should you start to pick up with him.
Alright.
The last time, the group known as Grave Undertaking, after losing one of their own within the Temple of Helm that they had discovered within the expanding green jungles, the group had known that a small circle of druids in the small town of Zanzul had been making a small push and breakthrough in somehow manipulating and controlling the constant flow of flora, which is known as the green, has been slowly expanding along the southern expanse of Essrena for the last passing months. The group, after discovering and conversing with a small council of druids, which you know the names to be of Coral, Gogish, Hekrit, and Cora, as well as Claw Chief Dudin, who seems to be taking over the surface of uh, Zanazul, and has allowed you all to make your small temporary home here, but also use the small teleportation circle within the surface itself, discovering that the means of controlling the green is a seed of Ingius within her own temple, which you know to be essentially the original source of the green itself. Your group, after discovering small bits of information and gathering small bits of drinks, including creating a new brew together, were able to gather little bits of information and slowly commune with each other to eventually make your way back to Respite, hearing that the princess that you had essentially turned into your gardener has suddenly come under some form of duress. You guys are coming down towards the surface, seeing the last of the enchantment finally break through as Van and you look over towards the small crackling blue energy that you finally release from your hands, tethering all of the lines together as you see each of the glyphs and runes activate within the small room to the side of the caved in entrance of the broken down tree. You'll see slowly pulsating in the center, the blue light seems to fade, yet you do see in front of you the same glyph like structure of the teleportation circle for you to copy. You do now have access for the teleportation circle in Zanazul for your beacon stone to use. Or should you choose to use a teleportation circle in the future.
Lovely.
You just see all above your heads, strangely, for whatever reason, some translucent text saying, fast travel point unlocked.
Whoa, I never saw that before. Diet nut donut.
No, do I think that was the beer you had last night?
Then that stuff's pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if it was spiked somewhat.
Druid spiking stuff? Nah.
Yeah, never. No.
So, anyways, you guys finally want to go home?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we might as well go over there now. Didn't really get done here, did we?
All right, let's go meet up with Cora. I have one last thing to ask her before we go.
All right. I'll follow you.
So, I begin to make my way up again.
Okay. Using
Oh
the
my.
elevator without any issues, you
What?
will see that Woody, that you had essentially allowed to stay within Xanazul, has already started to make his way towards the north, where you had seen a gathering of individuals that uh, Floor, Floor Chief Dudin had essentially sent charging towards a large pyramid that you guys had allowed him to create with the bean,
What you mean he
maybe
was
a good
leading the
mile out.
charge?
Yeah, he was leading the charge.
It would just join the crazy mother. Crazy lunatic.
But you do see Woody has already started charging forwards, allowing some of the nearby militia and nearby tribesmen to gather up and climb onto his back. Very same way that he's allowed you to do so before, but now charging in with the other smaller treants and the larger treants that Dudin had climbed onto as well.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
He's a fighter like his mom.
No kidding.
Up we go.
Yep. You pull the lever. Is it just yourself, Daisy and Dune, or is it everyone joining?
I would imagine that everyone would follow us, but that's up to them. Since we're technically trying to get back home through her tree spell.
That is true.
Vrek looks like they are going to stay with the professor. Harry looks like he's just adamantly waiting to see where this goes.
Staring into space.
Man staying with the professor.
Just curious, Daisy. Harry's gonna
Yes.
just look at you and like Dune over for a moment. What
Hmm.
exactly are you gonna talk to her about? What's so important?
Well, I would rather know what spot of Windspear the scry on Vannon was from, because that would give me an idea of where to look. I need a general
Speaking
area.
of which, we need to talk. He just looks over at Van. Like, we need to talk.
Oh, before we go, then let's head back to the hut. Everyone into my room, then. And we redirect to the huts.
Yep.
Okay. Making your way up to the elevator. The contraption makes its way up, allowing you to elevate into the large towering trees as you press through the canopy once again, leading up to near the cloud line itself. Till eventually you'll find yourself in the small huts and large treetop like village that the druids have made. Small, hunched over figures passing on by, little shrubberies and small treants carrying goods, but not paying attention to you.
Right. Once we get into my room, lock the door, and somehow cover the window. Mm, yeah, I'll use a charge on the shield to cover the window.
Okay. The vines immediately erupt from the bottom of the window and start wrapping over until the entirety of the window is covered. Uh, it is reasonably dark until you see Harry just tip the top of his goggles and you'll see a little bit of light radiate from them.
Oh, I can do that. That's kind of cool.
All right. Daisy leans back, sits on the bed. So what we're talking about? Actually, before you talk about anything, Vrek, check for anything invisible in this room.
I don't know if Rek is here, so I will go ahead and do so for them. Uh, they will look around, inspect. They will shake their head.
Well, you can actually
No,
see invisible things.
when I choose to.
That is unbelievably awesome, actually. I want to do that.
Well, you remember
It
the pictures he
is
drew.
useful.
Have you ever seen anything invisible? Like, actually?
You'll see Vrek just pull out the picture that they had originally drawn inside of the meeting room, where you do see what looks to be the same visage of Archdruid Cora sitting at the table. However, three figures that were seen, described to you at least, that were surrounding the table on the left from the back, sitting behind Archdruid Cora, and to the right of her. You would know that to the left, technically to her right, but your left
Mm-hmm.
of Cora is a muscled figure. However, the entirety of the lower half from the waist down is a swirling cloud of wind and storms. You'll see what looks to be a more darker like tone of skin and what looks to be a very long and very cropped looking beard that seems to rest along the individual's chin, who seems
Mm-hmm.
to be crossing his arms across his chest as if he is debating or as if judging whoever is watching or doing this particular drawing.
Mm-hmm.
You can see sitting behind Archdruid Cora in the confines of the wall, as if there is like an invisible barrier that has been like etched very faintly to create some form of like barrier between her and the thing behind it. You see what seems to be a four-headed hydra. However, the four heads are of metallic like dragons, one of copper, one of brass, one of silver, and one of, I believe. Oh shoot, what was the last one?
The shadowy figure.
No,
The last head, because it's
Oh, the
bronze,
last.
copper, silver, and it's supposed to be
Uh,
gold, but I don't think it's gold, right?
no, it
I
is
can look it
not.
up real quick.
So bronze, copper, brass,
It
silver.
is
Bronze, copper, brass, silver, gold.
a
Those are the metallic dragons, right?
no. You see what looks to be a silver, a bronze, a copper, and a brass,
Ah,
but no gold.
Yeah, the
okay.
gold sacrificed itself, if I remember
Right.
correctly. If I
You
didn't
will
Tiamat.
see that there is indeed a like a large divot between the two center heads, where a third like a center head should be resting, but it is completely like barren, as if it has been healed over. You would know that this was a particular creature that was known to be a hero of the land, usually protecting uh, citizens. However, it lost its golden head in a fight of the first ring of the Nine Hells against Tiamat herself.
Does it have a name?
Uh, you never got a name.
Okay.
Then saw on the right to you, but to the left of Cora, a figure humanoid in stance, however, standing over 6 foot tall, lanky and almost completely black in shadow. However, the only significant features are two burning white eyes and a smile that seems to rise from cheek to cheek.
It's, that's. Hmm. Okay. Confused why they were watching us in the first place. Anybody got any ideas? Anybody know what they're called? Anybody got names? This is the. I mean, these things watching us.
You did get a name for the last one.
Mm,
Let's see, where is it? It was
You knew from
the Unresting
previous
Man.
history the Unresting Man, which you know is essentially a boogeyman of Essrena that seems to be observant and is an individual that can curse people with eternal life.
mm. Yeah, I don't like that last one. He's kind of freaky. Hmm. But they're not in here, right, Breck? You didn't see, especially the creepy guy. You didn't see him in here.
Vrek looks around, shakes their head.
Huh.
Not from what I can see.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Breck.
All right, Harry. Go ahead.
He'll just look over at all of you, then look over at Vannon. Just out of mild curiosity. You were affiliated with who? Vannon.
He muted.
Oh, he muted.
He muted.
Ooh. Let's see. He will look around at everyone. Are we gonna allow us to just continue trusting him like this? I understand that we are working together, but we just realized he's been spying on us this whole time, and we're just gonna let that pass.
To be
Well,
fair, I don't.
depends.
I don't plan on that honestly. That's what. Why? Doesn't make sense.
Well, there's 2 points to see this. Either one, he was willingly spying on us. 2, he was unconsciously spying on us. And while both led to the same outcome, one is due to an extreme negligence, the other one is due to a malicious intent.
I would like the answers then. If he was conscious of this, and whether or not we can still trust him.
Yeah, I would like to know that too.
Everyone looks at
Sure.
Vannon, anticipating an answer.
Not want to talk, huh? Sure, we could change
Tough
that.
guy, eh?
Your silence speaks volumes.
Loki, if you are unaware, you are muted. So if you're trying to speak, we cannot hear you.
Blink twice, we can understand us. And I'm kind of leaning toward he was unaware by the way that Necklace tried to dominate him twice. Just a guess, though.
Well, that only happened once it was off his person, though.
Wasn't it twice? I guess, would I have even known it tried to do that, technically? By watching, Rob?
You saw Vannon essentially try and resist taking the medallion off. He seemed to be able to take it off, obviously with some form of strain. And then when he did take it off and place it down onto the table, he seemed to have been forced to try and reach his hand out towards it when the medallion was destroyed.
Okay.
It was quite clear that there was some form of outside influence when the medallion was about to be destroyed.
He's had that medallion since the day I met him, at least as far as I know.
No. You remember you found that medallion the first time you met Daisy within the mines.
Okay. That's right. Okay.
And you remembered that this originally was a possession of Silas's.
Okay.
You've seen him occasionally wear the item, but you know that it's been kept mostly hush hush.
Sure.
Also, I'm going to go ahead and just do this real quick so you guys get an idea of what you saw, because I'm actually going to give you the pictures of the things that you saw in
Woo!
the meeting room. Give me one moment.
Pictures.
Pictures! I do love me some pictures.
Pictures are a lot nicer than words.
So this is the individual that you saw to the left.
Oh, that's cool looking, actually. Neat.
Oh, the Ethereal Council. Gotcha.
Yes, this is the creature that you saw mostly resting behind the wall, but you get a genuine idea that this is what you saw.
Oh, that one's so cool looking.
Right.
And then the last one, which is the shadow-like figure towards the right. Which would be this one here.
Oh, it's the Hat Man. Oh no.
It is the Hat Man.
Oh no, it's Freddy Krueger.
It's the Scat Man.
It's a creepypasta run. Oh, it's so creepy. I love that though.
So, Loki, are you back? Not yet. Harry's just gonna look over at everyone. Look, if he's gonna stay silent about this, all I'm saying is we need to be careful.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't
Sure.
trust what exactly happened here, and if his interference has been causing us all these issues, then I'm not entirely sure how Olive would think about this.
What issues
To be
did it
perfectly
exactly cause
honest,
us?
If Olive would have been here, Van would be probably dead.
or at least cuffed. And you'll see him like looking over, and you'll see him reaching down towards the same shackles that Olive had originally given him.
Absolutely.
Well, it's up to you, Harry. To be fair, at the end of the day, this entire thing has cost, at least the plans we originally had, to completely fall apart. Not only does, I'm assuming, the Zentarum now have a very powerful piece that once belonged to us, it is out of sight. It makes it harder to recover.
I mean, really, I don't know if I'd blame that on Vanna at this point, because it kind of seems like they could have had that piece anytime they wanted, to be perfectly frank.
Well, yes, but we had a time limit and no one knew anything. But if they were spying on us and knew everything, all they had to do was bide their time. For as long as we were far enough away, we could never reach them in time. And that's what
Sure.
happened.
No, yeah. No, that's true.
A small shrubbery seems to be screeching out into the air outside of your as you hear us elderly woman just quiet down, dear, quiet down. And you see it slowly fading away. Look, all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna have my eye on him for Olive's sake, because that's what she'd do. I don't like this.
Well, I can tell you one thing that I noticed after he finished the 6 hours yesterday. The emblem on the piece of cloth that was hanging off his backpack that showed that it was a Zentarum symbol, the whole cloth was gone after those 6 hours, and I left you outside while I made mass sendings, and Dune was obviously drinking with those mercenaries. So if you saw no one, then how did that disappear?
Loki, are you with us now?
Yes, I am. I had to put number 1 and 2 down.
Friendly heads up. You are all in the hut, currently talking about the condition of Vannon's loyalty to the group. You have been quietly listening to most of the conversation. Harry has pushed forward a note that you should not be trusted at the moment, especially with the fact that you had knowingly had something spying on you, and they are wondering at this moment in time why you are not being cuffed like Olive usually would in these situations, and that's where the conversation has led so far.
We were wondering if you knew about it or you didn't know about it, I think was the question
If
on the
it was
table.
willful ignorance or spiteful negligence or malice.
More willful ignorance.
I was gonna insight check that.
I also had that mind shielding ring too, by the way.
Oh, that mind shield ring, right? The one we got in the fort.
Yep.
And Harry would probably guide himself.
Yeah, probably.
Holy moly!
That was one off from a nat.
Wow. That
26. Hmm. Vannon, you are free to send a roll. whether you are persuading or decepting,
Oh, and I
Mr.
have
Harrington
less than
here.
20. Nope.
And were you trying to persuade or decept?
Deception.
Deception. Okay. Uh, Harry will just lean forward, reaching down for the set of manacles that are currently resting on his belt. I'm going to do my best here.
No, we had a long rest recently, right?
He will immediately pull out the pistol.
Can he tell he's lying?
Yeah, that was.
He rolled a 26.
Yeah, but that a property of that ring is you can't detect if he's lying.
That's what magical means.
Oh, is it just
Magical
magical
means.
means?
Mhm.
I thought it was anything. Oh, that makes it a lot less fun than I thought it was. Never mind. Carry on, Harry.
He will pull out the pistol. Then, until we have full clarity right now, you would get one of these two options. And he will throw forward the manacles towards you.
Second option.
He puts the pistol towards you. This here is essentially my barrier. I'm making things perfectly clear. While this is still in my hand, and while things are not even, I want you to fully respect this as always having a gun to your head.
Yeah, it won't be the first time, won't be the last.
Oh, trust me, with me, it will be your last.
Yeah, all have said the same thing several times. But you look what
You
that
see him
happened.
pull back the trigger for a moment. Don't you dare squander her name.
Oh, she did that plenty by herself.
You trying to get yourself. This is turning into a PvP
Sounds like
situation
someone
here.
trying to get themselves shot. Yeah.
You see him like half twitching. Daisy, you see him actually starting to reach for Fargo.
I'm gonna put my
Fargo's
friend
the
Daisy.
shotgun, right? If I remember
Shotgun.
correctly.
That's the
Alright.
shotgun.
Daisy will actually raise her window. Harrington,
I will raise my friend Daisy.
as it
Don't.
stands,
Daisy.
some of us are not taking a side. Think about this correctly, Harrington. We're
I
currently
am
all in a
thinking clearly. I'm surprised none of you are. Fact that he has done this willingly or not, and the fact that he is not being restrained or questioned at all by any of you at this point. This man has sent fireballs at us. He has sent everything at us multiple times. And now you're expecting me to trust him after the fact that he has become some form of spy?
I expect you to keep it to the pistol, not the shotgun, Harrington.
I'm off the shotgun. Daisy.
If he says another word about Olive, I will not hesitate to pull both triggers.
Daisy gets up from the bed, standing over Harry. Well, I'll stand outside and I'll hear everything. Whatever happens, happens, Harry. And she turns around, walks out the door, and slams it shut.
Harry will not say another word. Resheath his pistol. Make his way out as well.
I didn't leave in the first place, and I just walk outside.
Daisy, you will notice, like maybe a couple seconds after you leave, the door immediately opens again. Harry seems to make a turn and seems to make his way away from the group for a moment.
As he turns, I'm like, here, gift from Syl, and I toss him the wooden olive statue.
He'll catch it, look at it, not say a word, and disappear into his own hut.
Daisy, I agree with Harry. Why are we trusting him?
Who says I'm trusting him?
Well, as it stands, I have every single reason to rip his spine out of his back. So give me a reason not to.
You want to know the reason I stepped out the hut?
Why?
Because he's gonna shoot a shotgun. I don't want to be a witness to it, or get in the crossfire. Dude, I am not dumb. I've seen things in the past 6 months since I've arrived to Essrena. I've become wiser than I was before. I am not as much of a fool as I once was. And that's why I told him, whatever happens, happens. And I walked outside. Vannon may be he may be who he is.
Good for nothing.
But, yes, but we all, when we started adventuring together, knew that we all came from different backgrounds and did different choices.
The cat just makes a montage of good for nothing Vannon constantly saving the party with multiple spells over the last number of months over the campaign.
There's a reason why
There's that.
Daisy is not going full on against Vannon.
Didn't Daisy literally try to get us killed like twice?
Shut up. It didn't happen.
She
No,
actually
no,
got
no.
Olive killed once.
First one, yes. Second, no.
Yeah, no. Everyone here has their faults. We're not going to get past that, but still, I am.
Aside from the
I'm
pictures, he's
sorry,
good.
but this is just speaking from the choir. I am 100% believing this is what Harry would have done in this situation. He is
Sure.
not going to trust this situation right now.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
sorry.
I'm sorry, I had to get up. What I miss is Vannon's still manacled in the room. And
No,
Harry left?
no.
He's
Harry offered the manacles for Vannon to put on. Vannon said option 2, which Harry pulled out the pistol.
Okay.
Vannon started shit talking about
Antagonizing.
Olive, and Harry was reaching for the shotgun.
Harry just
Daisy left,
Okay,
and
then-
when given the option to essentially just let it happen, Harry left without saying a word and went to his own hut.
Okay. Now that we're all friends again.
We're not friends, Professor.
Yes, let's be a little.
As
be
it
sarcastic.
stands, this is a tenuous truce. As it
Agreed.
stands,
Sure, that's one way to put it.
this could all unravel in a matter of seconds. Everyone needs to be on their best behavior. Otherwise, by dawn tomorrow, there may be no more grim undertakings.
Should I start hurting people?
There's that.
Is that what
I
we're
think
doing?
No, I think it's gonna be fine. Everyone's just a little grumpy right now.
Grumpy.
Daisy will
Uh,
see Vrek put a wand back in his pocket.
Hmm.
This,
Uh,
do we need to stay an extra night for some reason here, or are we leaving today?
I would prefer to
Oh,
leave
we're
today.
leaving today. That's why we're
Okay.
going to Cora. Because I would much have be happy if Vrek could examine our house, given that we have no idea what happened in it.
Oh yeah, Vrek, I need you to look at the basement of that house too. There's a tunnel down there. I want to see what you make of it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty good with architecture and other forms of stonework, masonry.
Excellent.
okay.
Look,
You guys would
oh,
have essentially free time to head down. You know where Cora's main meeting room is at this point.
I would actually have told the professor to stick with Vannon. Make sure that the situation stays as neutral as possible, and then just drag Dune with me.
Oh, you want me to like babysit Bannon essentially?
Ideally.
I
Okay.
expect you to watch him.
Is Vrek there? Would Vrek have heard that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's right outside the hut, Daisy's room, actually.
I'll have my cat go invisible and stay with Vannon at all times then, and report back to me as needed.
You do see the small spectral like cat appear for a moment before turning invisible, and then seems to brush up where Vannon is. You do see the cloth next to him seem to slowly sway and move, as if something is constantly brushing against it.
And I'll telepathically say to Daisy, I'll keep an eye on him.
Knowing glance shot over. Then I make my way over to Cora.
Making your way down to one of the nearby branches, the small spiral like staircase leads over to the nearby council chamber. You'll make your way over towards the small spiral like ramp that leads directly underneath the council chamber itself. As in front, you'll see the wooden door currently closed. There is a moment of time as you stand there for a couple of seconds before eventually the crackling of wood and bark seems to rip the door open out of place before slowly sliding to the side. You'll see Archdruid Cora standing there, smiling over at all of you for a moment, still in her humanoid like visage as you've seen her choose before. As she will smile, look over at all of you. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. I was expecting you.
I
I'll
assumed you would
step
be.
in.
She'll make her way in. The moment that she leaves the sunlight, you'll see her no longer hunching over, but standing up straight. You'll see the small hints of age slowly beginning to wither away, for eventually you'll see the horns beginning to protrude from either side of the hood until the true form of Archdruid Cora does come into vision in front of all of you.
Pleasure as
She
always.
will make her way over to the opposite side of the meeting room table, where you see countless numbers of figurines, the whole silver like statuette of the towering trees over the canopy of green directly underneath rests and slowly moves on top of the large meeting table, which she lowers her hands, causing it to fade and slowly melt away. So, I had a feeling that we were going to have heart to heart before you left. Was there something that you are needing?
Well, first, I want to ask you something about that eye or whatever it was that you destroyed. You said it
The,
was coming from Windspear.
the amulet of your
Mm,
companion, the one that allowed vision within my meeting room. Yes, I am aware of it.
yeah. You said it was in Windspear. Do you know which location in Windspear?
Um, I am not familiar with your districts, I'm afraid. I
Any coordinates as north, south, east, west?
the most northern peak.
I should have expected that. Good to have confirmation.
Of course, then. Was there anything else that I can do for you?
What's the northern
The
hemisphere?
Zentaram's portion.
Mm,
I'll kind of lean down
that makes
towards.
sense.
You do actually have history of the Wind Spears, different districts.
Okay.
I'll kind of like lean down towards Daisy's ear, just kind of whisper, "We're going to tell her about the things we saw today, or no?"
Up to you.
Well, I mean, do you think she ought to know that? I mean, probably right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Um, our friend Breck said he saw a couple of figures in here when we were in the meeting room last. Um, I kind of like give a description of each of them. Do you know why they would be here?
There are great creatures of legend that always seem to watch when there are beings that have lived as long as they have. Usually, I allow them to have sanctuary within these walls. They seem to commune with others here whenever they are destined to commune with them. I allow them to have this space. It it is rumored to be quite thin between some planes of existence, at least from my knowledge.
Right. So they just show up here because you let them. If I'm just making sure I'm understanding that.
Imagine if you owned a kingdom and warriors of legend once in a while decided to use your rooms to commune with others.
I think
Same
I
kind of
understand.
deal, my dear. I am welcoming them to stay within these halls, since they have been destined to speak with others of their true value. If these are creatures that you have seen, then they are merely waiting for the ones to speak to them.
I've never seen any of them until recently, and I don't know how I feel about the shadow person. Hmm. Looking at me specifically is kind of creepy.
You do
Uh,
not need to worry about the unresting man unless you have been marked, my dear boy.
and
And that is quite a rarity.
how do you know that? Is it evident?
Eh, Usually, the children of the unresting man have a mark. They are born with this mark, and it is a permanent placement upon their body for the rest of their eternal life.
So sort of like this, and I show my dragon's mark on my neck.
Like, you work on me. I don't know. I don't know. Check, please. He's kind of freaking out a little bit.
She will slowly stand up from behind the table. If you are concerned, dear boy, I could inspect to see if you have indeed been marked by this man.
I would greatly appreciate that, please.
She'll step forward. She's maybe around 6, maybe 5'11", so she's resting near your chest line, Dune, as
Mm-hmm.
she moves up, inspects you for a moment, her horns just clipping the sides of your head whenever she moves around the shoulders, before
Mm-hmm.
eventually she seems to inspect along the back of the neck, tilting your head slightly, before giving a slight shake of her head. Do not worry, dear, you have not been marked.
Bingo.
Usually it is from birth, and if that is the case, usually someone of your particular age, from what I can see, has probably been alive for numerous centuries at this point. It is said that these children of the unresting man cannot die by old age. It is said that they stagnate their particular aging process at a certain threshold.
Right.
That sounds nice.
Just the physical tension kind of just leaves him. He's oh, thank the gods. Oh.
It is nice, yes, but a lonely path for the children of the unresting man. Imagine constantly being the same age for multiple centuries, multiple millennium. All of your loved ones, everyone that you have ever connected with, slowly withering away, dying until you're the only ones left. That is not
That
life.
is that
That is
is
suffering.
depressing. That is
It's a
depressing.
curse more than anything.
And
That's
it
how you look
is
at it.
even more of a curse when you are forced to create a child for the unresting man. The first one that is born of a child of the unresting man is also cursed and marked. So it is destined for them to continue their curse to another lineage or bloodline. It is no bounty or benefit to have eternal life with this man.
Has there ever been records of two marked people having only one child that is also marked? Would the mark then be stronger, or does it remain the same?
I have not seen a individual or research of a double marked child, no, and usually the particular research of these children of the unresting man, also known as the unresting children, it is said that they can essentially kill each other if they are staying within each other's presence for too long.
No.
If a unresting child found another, it would slowly but surely advance their aging process to the point of death. It is one of the few things that seem to break the curse, is to find another that is also cursed. But that also means that you need to be with family. To create a family, and you'll just see her just like shake her head slightly, a slight shiver going through her entire body. And not exactly something I wish to ponder on. Anyways, different form of conversation if you do not mind.
Yes, please.
All right. Well, I have a question. Since obviously I am a foreigner, come from a different land, I was wondering, because formerly I was marked by the Seven Sisters, and I did manage to get an image of Estera itself, I believe. What do you think about the current situation in Estera?
I believe I've already said. The old times are slowly returning. There is no reason for me to stop the ever growing green from taking over the land when it once did. If you're wishing to stop the green from progressing, you're free to do so, but try not to destroy what we have already created.
I was more about the war in the north.
The War of the North is no concern for me. That is concern for royalty.
Right.
If you are asking me about the royals, they neither concern me either. They do not ponder with the countless natures of us druids. And I do not believe she has knowledge of my current interference with such matters. We don't exactly see eye to eye.
Very well. Understandably so.
I'm not concerned about the Royals either.
Excellent. For my own knowledge, I did not get a name for you. For your sake, I will not speak of what your true nature is.
The dwarf.
Yes, the
My
dwarf.
dwarven friend.
Yes, dwarf.
I give her
She'll
a
just
knowing nod.
smile widely.
I give
She
an
smiles.
equally wide, but it's a more awkward smile. Like I don't fully understand how to smile. But it's behind my mask, you know? Kind of weird.
Right.
Um Oh, yes, the dwarf. My name is Vrek.
Vrek. Very well.
Mhm.
Vrek?
Vrek.
Yes.
Mhm.
What was your
Yes.
question again?
I didn't have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the question again? She'll just look
That's-
around.
It was more relating to the royalty because
Oh, right,
found-
royalty. Sorry.
yes, because I
Yes.
found out that a group of people from our nation came here. The imprisoners of my mother came along as well. So, if I ever step foot in the capital, let's be prepared.
If you ever step into the capital, and that is quite a big if in current situations, you would need quite a fair amount of coin.
How much we talking?
She'll look over all of you. How many people are you expecting to enter the walls?
6 at most.
6 at most, 600 gold pieces at the least. And that's just the first one.
Wait, you can charge for entrance?
Of course.
Can't
Huh.
believe you dragged me
And-
into
How
the life
many
of
walls are you
society,
talking
Daisy.
about?
I'm going to assume that none of you have ever seen the capital of Essrena.
I've only ever saw the mountains where
I've
it was marked by the Seven Sisters.
I've only lived in the ditch to the west my entire life.
And she'll just look at everyone else, apart from Vrek and Koinos.
No, can't
I've
say that.
definitely been to Koinos.
No, Koinos. All
Yeah.
of you are Koinos people, yes?
Oh yeah,
No, I'm not.
No, not you, Shifter. These lot, and she'll point over towards the professor, Vannon, and Daisy.
Oh,
Mhm.
gotcha.
As I said,
Thank
I've
you.
not.
Very well. So yes, from my understanding, there are 5 walls, 5 particular rings of the city itself. The capital only allows most people within the first 4. The final ring is mostly for royals and high representatives of nobility. The
Ooh.
outer ring is mostly for the common folk. Very poor, very dangerous for new folk. You will need to find yourself to the second ring as quickly as possible if you do not wish to have all of your belongings taken from you.
That would be stealing.
From yes, and they do not care.
At the
From
mention of them not carrying, Daisy twitches a bit.
I imagine I can pick a couple on.
I will go ahead and spare the indulgences for all of you. There is a vast camp of maybe couple miles wide that surrounds the capital Estrena itself. Estira is surrounded by people who wish to get in. Traders, people, colonizers. She'll give a slight look over to Daisy, Professor, and Vannon.
I nod, understanding what you mean.
Professor
Yeah,
returns a thumbs up.
colonizers.
Professor gives her a thumbs up.
It is rumored that it takes maybe over a week for one person to get from the start of the line to the entrance of Ostira itself without the proper coin to allow them admission, which is why I said 600 at least.
Would you say that someone of noble birth might receive preferential treatment?
There is a very small chance of your particular standing, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I'd love to try to talk my way into that final wall.
Professor, our parents are already in there. What do you mean? It's easier.
It's just for fun.
Your parents are in there.
Is that my mom?
Then you should have relatively no issue entering the ring. However, it is also very highly recommended that you do not have any form of communication with the natives that you have communications with the nobility of Istria. If anyone recognizes that you are family to a nobility that could give them access to the capital, your lives will be at risk.
Does it make sense?
No, I think we can shave your head, Daisy, and make it unnoticeable.
Oh, if
Believe me, I already
needed, I can
changed how
make
I
a
looked,
disguise
like,
for anybody.
a while ago.
Oh, that. We can make disguises, right?
If
I'll
needed.
just travel incognito. It'll be fine.
I'm very good at it.
Well, it's good to
Oh.
know. All
Oh,
information
great.
is useful information. Oh no, I just thought something bad. Oh fuck. But that's me out of game.
It's gonna be fine.
In either case, for you to enter the second wall, I don't exactly have the information. All I know is that you'll need a considerable higher amount to present towards the guards.
Will they even let someone like me or Freck in?
You'll be my retainers. It's gonna be
We-
fine.
Yes,
Don't
I
you
was
worry
about to
about it.
say, as retainers, more than likely.
I would rather be Daisy return than yours, Nine Toes.
Retainer, bodyguard, either work.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have some way of getting yourselves within the second wall, it is usually best to use your pedigree. In regards to the third and the fourth walls, I am not entirely sure, but you are free to try and use your sanctified position and title.
Yeah, that would be a way.
That won't be an issue.
Alright. Well, on to the last topic. You said you could teleport us to a tree in our backyard, correct? Well,
That
rather
I
open the
can.
portal.
That I
Alright.
can.
Well, we just need our rabbit to get back here once he's cooled down.
Uh, you're not entirely sure if he knows where you are at the moment.
I'll have to go fetch him. Cora, I'm under the impression that we won't exactly be welcomed back here after we leave. Is that correct assumption?
Unless you have probable cause to return and you have full reason to return to us, I don't see why I would allow you to have permanent residence here.
Yeah,
We
that's fair.
try to keep our people together as one. If you are wishing to try and commune with us and try to become part of this community, you'd have to speak with Claw Master, Claw Chief Dudin.
Sure.
In either case, good luck with your travels. And you say that you're wishing to go to tree. Which tree? You need to give me some form of description, picture, something to give me an idea.
It's in respite.
I'll
No,
describe the
there you
tree
go.
in our backyard with the owl nest and thing, everything that's on the tree.
Does anyone have minor illusion?
Good question. No.
Doesn't
You know who
someone-
did.
Our only
Wait a
person who
minute.
did is dead.
Dude.
You know who
Doesn't
did.
someone have one of those pipes with
Yep.
smoke monsters? No. Didn't Dune have one?
I mean, we could
Yeah.
ask Vrek to draw it according to my memory.
Oh, there you go.
I will
Someone's got to go grab Harry too. While we're
think.
doing this,
I will
right?
take my screwdriver and think really hard. And-
Professor, you would be on your way out of the room to get Harry at this
Yeah,
point.
I'll go get Harry. Hold on.
And I will learn
Carry on, Breck.
minor illusion.
Okay.
That's a cantrip, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I do believe so.
Let me double check.
I think it's either a first level or
If it's a first level, I
think it's a
can't
first-
do it. If it is a
I'm pretty sure it's a
cantrip,
I think it's a fire. I think it's a first.
let me check.
The minor illusions can't.
It's a cantrip. Never mind.
Okay, so
Minor
yeah, I'm
illusion.
gonna use my
Okay.
screwdriver and I'm gonna think really hard and I'm gonna unlock minor illusion.
Okay.
All right,
You
I know how
think
to use
really
it now.
hard, and you believe that you have an idea of how to create the spell.
I have it for 8 hours. All right, and I'll start putting up my hand and taking the screwdriver and my tinker set. I'll make a little disc that has some controls on it so I can adjust the parameters of the image and make a holographic image on top of the disc. So yeah, go ahead and describe it. I'll try and create it.
So I just start to describe it to Vrek and give him directions as to what to change.
In CSI style,
Um,
we'll
yeah, full on just giving description. You'll see Vrek begin to clip away, clattering and moving little dials along this small contraption that he has made. You'll see slowly and surely what looks to be a small illusion like figure of a tree that is slowly being molded and twisted into the shape that you're describing until eventually, with a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, you'll see what looks to be a very fine looking picture, if rudimentary at best, of your back garden with the tree, with the small owl house in one of the branches.
Well done, Vrek.
Oh, thanks. I actually hadn't done that before, so that was fun.
Nice.
Will this work as
Cora
your
will
facsimile?
She'll stand up, start making her way over, inspect it for a moment. Hmm, I've got a genuine idea of this. Let me take a look. And she'll start making her way over, reaches down into a small glass cabinet where you see what looks to be multiple plant pots, small, mostly to suit small flowers, as she will place it down in the center of the meeting room, look over at all of you. One moment, if you do not mind. She will clasp her fingers together. Closing her eyes, you'll see small hints of fairy light beginning to swirl around the thin and curling like horns as she will immediately throw her hands out. A scattering of pale like petals will rest over the small plant pot, for eventually you see breaking through the earth at least what looks to be a stem, then a stalk, then you see slowly turning darker and darker as if the greenish like skin of the plant seems to darken into a deep brown bark, seems to rigid and harden into a rougher like texture until eventually you see what looks to be a 7 foot tall cherry blossom like tree resting in the center of the meeting room. You'll see her close her eyes, hold her hand forwards, creating a flat surface along her palm, before slowly dragging her hand down in the air as you see the tree slowly opening up, crackling and breaking with each snap of the center of the tree trunk, until eventually you see what looks to be a small, pale blue and white light that seems to open up in the center of the trunk itself. It is at this point you hear the crackling sound of the meeting room's entrance as the professor and Harry will start making their way down the small staircase to the
Terry's
meeting room.
mood. What's his disposition right now? That I can
He has
discern.
been silent this whole time, head down, goggles on, uh,
Okay.
constantly gripping the constantly holding the grip of his pistol. You do see him constantly and continuously spinning the small uh, metal iron locket of steel and brass that you know Olive's ashes are contained in, spinning that around his thumb, catching it, and then spinning it around his thumb, continuously catching it again.
Okay. I'm not gonna say anything.
Both of you will make your way to the bottom as Cora will look over at you all. The opening will last maybe a couple of seconds, but I do believe this will be more than enough to let you through.
Excellent.
Thank you, Cora.
Thank me whenever you're done with your business.
As we're
I'll
making, I'm sorry, go ahead.
try not to destroy the forest, rather jungle. That's as much as I can promise you.
Do not worry. We will tell you if things go wrong. We will expect you to fix it if it does.
Sure.
Then we shall see.
As we're making our way through, I'm going to look over to the professor. Where is your home?
Sorry, what was that? Brett?
Where is your home located that we're going to? I should have asked.
Oh, the town of Respite. Far to the south. Well, not far, but it's a couple days walk to the south.
And then, yeah, as we're going through the tree. Oh, great. Koinos.
Oh
Yeah,
god.
Koinos.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted you to. We'll talk when we get to the tunnel.
As you guys start stepping through, the crackling of the tree slowly opening up, as you do see on the other side, maybe a good 30 or 40 feet down the tunnel of the large, crackling wooden entrance, you do see the small garden halfway in the process of currently planting what looks to be carrots and what looks to be a small set of flowers in the corner. However, you'll notice as well that half of the garden is not done. It is still in the process of being made.
Looks like our spot.
All right. Remember, this house may be trapped. We don't know what's happened since we've been here. We have to be careful.
Agreed.
So who's good at looking for traps?
You are.
I
Oh,
can.
look at me.
Yeah,
So-
Brack. Mechanically inclined.
Is everyone jumping through, I'm assuming?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All of you jump through, the tunnel slowly crashing behind the last of you, as you will see the small tree in the back of your garden eventually close behind you. The sudden change of heat is definitely obvious, as the more cooler like uh upper air of Zanazul is immediately replaced by a intense heat of the sun within the coastal line of the desert. However, there is a very faint breeze that seems to be slowly coming from the eastern side. You'll hear the sound of clattering pots and pans from within the building, and you can see what looks to be a set of gloves and a trowel that is currently resting beside a small basket filled with what looks to be small sacks of seeds and grain.
Just kind of throw my finger up in like a shh, like a be quiet kind of thing. My face. Just point to the house.
I give him a knowing nod and go towards the door, and I tell Vrek using my hands to come to the door and check it.
Okay. Let's see.
I'll give him guidance as well.
First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna activate polarized lenses,
Okay,
so I can see invisible creatures and objects.
okay.
Uh, and then second, I'm going to take out my tinker's tools and my magnifying glass. And yeah, I'm gonna start checking for traps, checking for locks, see if anything's magically inclined all that good stuff.
Okay. Looking around, there doesn't seem to be anything off-putting. There's no invisible sensors. There's no figures that you can see. From your immediate glancing around, there doesn't seem to be any tripwires on the doors, on the windows. There doesn't seem to be anything that catches your attention.
I'll say telepathically. So far, it looks good.
As Rek is doing this, all of you
Mhm.
will see Harry has already pulled out the pistol and is just resting it against his side.
Oh, I will telepathically tell the cat to stop watching Vannon and keep a lookout for you know what.
Okay. Vannon, you no longer feel the brushing against your side as you see small scampering paw prints seem to rush off out of the garden and seem to head elsewhere.
Do I smell like tuna now?
You do not.
You smell like
You
Cosmos.
smell strangely like asteroids, but you don't know what that smells like.
Oh boy.
Iron. Let's say it's still like iron.
You just have a strange feeling that if there's any dogs nearby, they will be immediately attracted to you.
While doing
So,
that, I
yeah,
want to walk up the wall and stealthily kind of look through all the second floor windows, see if I can see anything.
Okay. You carefully make your way up. Give me a stealth check, please.
Meanwhile, I gesture to Rek to open the door.
Okay.
That's the worst still check I've had.
Professor, you make your way up. You feel the footstep is a little bit of like a okay, testing it out motion, trying to feel if the wood walls will give a slight give or will create sound as you put pressure on them. But after a moment, you'll start making your way up silently until eventually making your way to the second floor. The first window that you'll come to would be yours, since you know exactly where it is.
Okay.
You would go over. Would your windows be open, Professor?
I imagine not. No, I wouldn't. I would
Okay.
have left them closed and locked.
Curtains closed as well?
I mean, it really depends on the mood. It wouldn't have been a priority of mine when leaving. Just I would just have shut the window and locked it. I don't know if I necessarily would have drawn the curtains.
Okay.
Okay, let's roll a
Uh,
here over 50, and I close the blinds.
sure.
Yep, the blinds are closed.
So you will notice that the curtains are closed, so you can't really see inside of your room. I would believe next to you would be Vannon.
Okay.
Vannon,
Yes.
would Vannon be the type to keep his window open?
No.
No. Okay. Would he have kept his window? Would he have kept his curtains closed?
You probably would have stapled them shut.
Okay. Professor, you will notice when you go to
Wow.
Van's window, not only are the doors, the windows locked, but you'll notice that both of the curtains have been adamantly sewn together down the middle.
Yeah, that tracks. I don't even know why I bothered checking.
You'll come around and you'll see at the end of this side would be. Let's see. It's either. Oh no, this would
Maybe
be.
Harry's winning it.
That's awkward. Yeah, it's Harry's. No, Harry's is downstairs.
Yeah.
Harry's
Oh
is
right,
I was
downstairs.
gonna
his
say, I
is
thought
next
Harry
to
was
the
downstairs.
kitchen, so it'd be
His is next
Dunes,
to the
then me,
kitchen.
and then Olive.
You'll find there's no window on the far end of this one. Solely because this is where the staircase is. Uh, you would know that on the other side it was Dune, Daisy, and Olive. Olive would be on the opposite side of Harry's. Uh, Daisy's was on the opposite side of Vannon's and Oh no, it was. Let's see.
It was next to Olives and
I
Dune,
thought
Daisy.
Olives was an interior room.
It was an
Ol-
interior room.
didn't
Mhm.
Olives have like the view to the ocean as well?
No,
She
Olive
did. It
wasn't. I
was
thought it was an
where
interior with no windows.
Didn't
it
my
was.
room have the
No, you
view?
closed the
My room was the
windows.
master
Okay.
bedroom, right, or the largest one. I thought that had the view of the ocean.
Yours was the master bedroom heading towards the ocean. Then it
Yes.
was Olive's that was right next to the staircase.
Hmm.
Daisy that was right across from Vannon, and Dune that was right across from the professor. So you would know that Olive's room wouldn't have a window, or if there was a window, it's already boarded up.
Oh God.
Yeah, Olive didn't like light
Uh,
that much.
Yeah.
you will notice as you come around to the next one, it would be Daisy's. Daisy, would you keep your window open?
No, the window would be closed,
And
but
the curtains?
it would have the curtains open.
Okay. Professor, you'll look inside to see a very rudimentary room. Apart from a few little bits and pieces on the dresser, from what you can see.
And 2 beds.
Mostly little, two beds as well. However, you will notice what looks to be mostly very cheap and very fine looking jewelry mixed together that has been pushed aside. Uh, Multiple letters that seem to litter most of the dresser that have been piled up very nicely and uh, tidily onto one corner of the dresser.
When you say the
You
jewelry,
will,
does it looks like it's been rifled through, or that's just kind of how it's set?
it's
Like the
just how
scanner?
it's set.
Okay.
You will notice, however, that the bed has been freshly made.
Okay.
You'll know that you've been traveling for maybe just over a week at this point, and normally, like, your bed would be showing signs of like wrinkling. There would be showing signs of like uh some like dirt and little bits of like obvious signs of little use. You can see that Daisy's covers and pillows have been freshly pressed and prepared as if they have just been washed.
Okay. Someone's been. How long ago was it? Did the princess get taken? 3 days ago?
Uh, Sorry, what
2 days?
was how 2
We
days ago?
stayed. So
That
it
we
was the night.
suspect.
So we stayed 2 nights and 1 day.
Stayed 2 nights and 1 day.
Okay. Checks out, right? Like they could have been. That bed could have been made 2-3 days ago, as far as my knowledge.
As
Can
far as your
present.
knowledge, it could be made between the last hour or the last
Ooh.
2 days.
Okay. That's interesting.
Going over to the last window, Dune,
Mm-hmm.
would you leave your window open?
Probably because he's not used to windows.
Professor, you go over to
Yes.
the final window, and you do indeed find it unlocked.
Okay.
However, the moment that you open the window, you wish you kept it closed.
Really, it's that bad? Jesus Christ.
Even though you can see that the curtains have been pulled aside, uh, the room is mostly a mess, but not as dirty as you would have believed it to be for Dune's case.
Okay.
You can see that there's like the dresser has been covered by the large uh, were rat skull that you know he has kept for quite some time,
Yeah.
adorned with a multitude of other weapons and small markings, small detailed scratch drawings of what looks to be a towering werewolf-like individual in the corners of the room that seems scattered across the wall. However, the main thing that seems to really gather your attention is the currently festering leg of lamb that is currently resting underneath one of Dune's pillows.
Oh, good Christ, dude. That doesn't belong there.
You'll notice that due to the obvious time that it's been there, a lot of the meat has sagged and grown to a more yellowish-like color.
Oh, we're gonna get rats and
And
fruit flies and shit.
you can already smell a very distinctful buzzing sound coming from underneath that pillow.
Oh, Christ.
You will, however, notice that the room is indeed locked on the opposite side, as you do see the latch is closed. So you believe that Dune is at least someone who keeps his place secure, if
But
not exactly tidy.
it's locked from like the opposite side of the room, essentially.
Yes, his
Okay.
door is locked, but not the window.
Okay. Do I think it's possible for me to defeat that lock from this side? Like if I go in the room
Oh,
and go up to the door.
absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to again like stealthily, I'll do like a little stealthy like ninja roll through the window into the room, sneak over to the door, and as quietly as possible unlock it.
Okay. Roll me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Hey, it's better than I usually do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll allow it.
Glad to
You
do
make your way over, lifting the cloth over your face to mask most of the smell. Even like opening the window a little bit more to make sure that some of the air starts to be vented out. However, eventually you do easily unlock the door without any issues.
Okay, I'm just gonna creak it open and just stand there for a minute and listen and see if I can hear any kind of activity in the house.
You can hear the sound of pots and pans from downstairs. The sound of what can only be assumed to be humming, some form of like humming voice that seems to be coming from downstairs. And outside of the very foul smell that seems to be coming from the opposite side of Dune's room, from where you're currently at, you smell the smell of freshly cooked meat.
Okay, now as far as do we hire a maid or something? As far as I know, the princess is the only one in our house besides us, correct? That was in charge of its
That's
upkeep.
the last what you remember.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
You
going to
do
try to.
not hire a housemaid or anything. It's just a princess.
I am going to sneak up on this pots and pan smell, and I mean, I'm assuming this is from the kitchen, and just see if I can catch a glimpse of what's going on.
Okay. While you're listening, downstairs, you guys are at the back door, watching the professor make his way up. You'll see him turn around the corner, making his way to the front of the building. You guys are waiting at the back door.
I would gesture to Vrek to open the door after like a minute.
Yeah, everything looks good. I'll open it.
You open the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything looked good. You said no traps, no
Yep.
locks, no ethereal shenanigans. Yeah.
Not from what you can see. You push the door open, and it gives a slight creak as it is slowly pushed in. You can see on the inside of the room, the kitchen itself, the dining room seems to have been littered with 7 different chairs. Some of the nearby placements has what looks to be 2 plates, one of which is currently filled with what looks to be eggs and bacon, untouched. The other is currently empty. You can all hear the sound of humming coming from inside of the kitchen. The same soft, like voice that seemed to have been familiar to the princesses.
Daisy will grab the staff of withering in her hand and open the door slowly, and then move inside.
You'll make your way inside. Uh,
Yeah.
as you step in, you'll see just to the side of you, inside of the kitchen space, you'll see the princess is currently working and currently cooking what looks to be a mixture of eggs and bacon, trying her best to perfect it. As you see that she has made multiple plates, but still seems to be adamantly cooking.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to be right back, but I would give pointers on her cooking. But I'll be right back.
Okay.
I have a bean for this.
She will immediately turn from the voice, look over.
I thought you
Oh.
were in trouble.
Trouble? No, no, I don't believe so. I wasn't expecting you all to return so soon. Did everything go all right?
Tell me, did you cough twice for a specific reason?
Off twice. No, I do believe that I woke up with a cold the other day, but I don't believe so.
Insight check.
Go ahead and make an insight
I'm
check.
guiding
Wait.
myself. Because at this point, it turns out Daisy's Delulu, I guess.
Daisy, you look at her, she's like looking at you surprised. There's like a small hint of a smile rising to her face. It's obvious surprise from what you can see, but the smile is, from what you're seeing, real. She looks like she is busy trying to perfect what she had originally started, which was her first meal of eggs and bacon for you lot.
Just to clarify, you received my message, correct?
Yes, I do believe so. Sorry, just give me a second and she'll quickly turn around, pulling one of the pans off of the nearby fire and placing it down before taking a small taster. Gives a slight nod. Oh, that's a lot better. She'll quickly make her way over, serve the plate, and just like look over for a moment. Oh, sorry, that this is a lot of food. Th- well, by all
Everyone
means,
come in, we're
good.
fine. And I put the staff away.
Are you all right? Is everything okay?
In the message, I told you to cough twice if you were in trouble. You coughed twice, May.
I'm sorry. I must have not heard you correctly. If there I had caused you trouble, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Professor walk in the kitchen right now.
You are making your way down the stairs, having heard the conversation. Yes.
Okay. Princess, can you do me a favor and just repeat back to the best of your knowledge what was in the message Daisy sent you?
Ah. She will quickly like lower the small gloves that she was wearing, placing them to the side, will sit herself down. Um, you I believe you tried to communicate with me. Asked me if I was in danger and told me to cough twice if I was in danger, yes? Which
Yes.
I must have responded because you're here.
Insight check. I want to see if it's
And
she's saying that because I said that she coughed twice and what the answer was, or if she was genuinely responding as she should.
I really wish you'd have said that before I could.
You are
while
free to make your own insight check.
I don't see
Woo!
any thing in this room with my polarized lenses active.
21.
Inside this room,
Yeah.
roll me a perception check, please.
Dune, also, could you do us all a favor and get that rotting lamb's leg out of your room, please? One under
I
your pillow.
forgot I left that there.
It's just the smell is just. So we're
Well,
gonna get
I
rats.
don't think a 5 is going to help that at all, so I'm going to leave it.
It can't be that bad, Professor. Come on.
I barely held it down when I entered your room, man.
Such
Right.
a pansy. And I start going up the stairs.
Usually, whenever you don't feel anything, your mandible doesn't twitch. You feel your mandible giving a very slight vibration. Something's here. You just don't see it.
I will immediately telepathically message that to Daisy, as I've seen that she's been very cautious and on her guard.
Daisy,
Mm-hmm.
a moment of your time.
Right.
Be right back.
Yep.
Alright.
I love Wreck.
Wreck is pretty great.
Wreck is pretty amazing. This is why I've been wanting to play him for months. And I promise he's not OP. He's only
This part just-
slightly OP.
Out of curiosity, from your DM experience, is it possible to run an insight check on another player character to determine their alignment?
That is very, very tough to decide. Technically, yes, you could if it was done during the action of a certain alignment action, such as an evil or a good or a chaotic or a lawful action. A neutral action, on the other hand, is nearly impossible to tell. I would put that at a 25 plus DC.
Whew. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's what DCs are for.
Oh yeah, no, I get you. I get you.
So, like, yeah, 30 is impossible. 25 is near impossible. 20 is improbable or improbable. So that's only if it was a neutral action, and they're still trying to do an insight. But I would say yes, only if they do it during an action of an alignment or an action that would show their alignment, basically. Like, oh, I'm just walking down the street and an orphan asks for money and then you stab him. Insight check.
The
Sure, I
moment
get you.
fuck. Shit, if I knew what to fuck. Alright. Oh boy. Right. The moment Vrek tells Daisy that, you'll see Daisy charges at the princess and tackles her,
Whoa!
yelling,
What
"Dude,
the?
help me!" as she tackles the princess.
Alright, chum, run back to this. Okay.
Daisy.
Mm.
That's just backpedaling as this is happening.
Okay. Daisy, the moment that you charge forwards,
Yeah.
you see her beginning to rest her hand on her chest, and you see some form of abjuration like magic like barrier beginning to form around her.
Right.
You're
Like
maybe a
with
good
shield.
10 foot out.
I quickly, as he does this, I
Yeah,
quickly change and I conjure animals. I'm conjuring a rhinoceros on top of her. The kid's
Just out
gonna
of
get screwed,
curiosity,
but yeah.
does anyone have counterspell available?
That'd be Vannon.
The only one would be Vannon. I don't have we don't have
Yeah.
access to counters.
Loki's not here.
Loki's not here.
No.
Yeah, no. I don't have counterspell. It's not in my spell list.
And given the fact that I do not know where Vannon stands on this at the moment, I cannot act as him.
I'm willing to wait a bit, but if we have to go, we have to go.
Yeah.
Break? No.
Yeah, we can take a 5-minute break real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have 5 to 10 minutes until Vannon gets back. since this is a very important situation right now, as
Mhm.
all of you are very well aware, he's trying to cast a spell.
Mm-hmm. All right. See you
So,
10:10,
see
possibly at the
you
latest.
at 10:10. Yeah, 10:10 at the latest. Go ahead and mute yourselves if you're not here, and I'll see you back in a moment.
Yeah. Is the princess dead? Observing a moment.
As far as I know.
So what happened after the rhino was conjured?
We're still waiting on Bannon.
Did Daisy attack Vanna?
No, we're waiting to see if Bannon will counterspell whatever's about to happen.
Oh.
Voodoo. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you there. The only problem with this character is I have to have multiple things open because of just how complicated he is.
That sounds great, in my opinion.
But he's fun.
That sounds pretty great, honestly.
Mm-hmm. It is great. Problem is you just have to remember everything. You know, remember all the things you have. You know, it's a lot of micromanaging.
A little too complicated for my blood, but it's still pretty cool, though. Oh, no.
I have returned.
The king has returned. I like this one better. Oh,
Oh, the Overlord, yeah.
I love that.
Buff.
Honestly, I saw this as a meme on 9gag, which made me watch the anime, and I am completely happy I did. Just for
Pretty
this
good.
scene.
Season 2 was released a while ago. It doesn't look. I started watching it and just I
What
don't
do
know,
you
didn't have
mean?
the
There's
same
like 4
feel.
of them.
Is there 4 seasons now? I watched the first season and I liked it, and then I started watching
Bro,
the
yeah.
second one. And it just had a
There's
different
like
feeling
4
to it.
of them, and like 3 movies and something like that.
Yeah, I was not
Holy shit!
I was not expecting the theme of Overlord.
Yeah, I only watched the first season and it's pretty good, but I didn't get back to watching the second one. I have to, and then obviously watch third and fourth.
Oh yeah, it just wasn't the same to me. I don't know what it was.
I mean, it's
Different
maybe it's because
animators?
of the topic, right? Like, because if you ever watched SAO, then you compare it to Overlord. Overlord's way better.
Oh yeah, for
I would
sure.
watch Overlord, but I'd have to watch it at work, and I don't want to watch it at work.
I don't know if I'm gonna say Overlord's better than SAO.
Comparing the first season, I liked
Yeah, her
Overlord
first season was really
better
good.
than
Now,
the first
I'll
season.
say Overlord's better than
Ooh.
Gun Game.
Okay,
Obviously,
we're not
Gun
even gonna get into
I've
Gun
never
Gale.
seen it.
Gale is just, yeah.
Because
Season 2 of SAO,
Mm-hmm.
essentially.
I didn't
When
like
they
it.
essentially said, you know what, we're gonna turn SAO into a gun game.
Yep.
you want
Pretty
guns?
much.
We got guns.
And
I
then a
started
lot
watching
of
the first
guys
season.
get sold.
Like, the reason I would say Overlord Season 1 feels at least better and more complete than SAO
Oh damn, he
is
does.
because of how fleshed out everything feels in Overlord
Okay.
compared to in the SAO where it all felt like rushed. Like, there's things that you say like, well, okay, hold on, how did we get here? So that's more like why, in my opinion, it does.
So, getting back into the game, since Van is back with us. Vannon, since you were away, the group has started making their way into your home, essentially. The professor has made their way in to the second floor, from your understanding. You made your way in and found that the back entrance to your home is untrapped. You found that the princess is inside of the kitchen, currently making a lot of eggs and bacon. And after a few questions from Daisy, Daisy charged the princess, who is now currently clasping her hand to her chest. And there seems to be some form of abjuration barrier like magic that is starting to radiate from the princess. You saw Daisy immediately throw her hand out and conjure a rhinoceros, which has immediately erupted directly above the princess's location.
Oh my
Do
god,
you
you're
wish to
gonna destroy our
counterspell?
house. You're gonna destroy the house.
Oh no!
Just now thought of that.
Okay. So
There are
there's a
two spells
rhinoceros.
being conjured at the moment. There is the third princess, who is currently in the kitchen, looking at you wide-eyed, looking up at the rhinoceros, is pressing her hand against her chest, and you see what looks to be a translucent-like barrier beginning to protrude from her. You see Daisy throwing her hand out, and what looks to be the makings of a small rhinoceros crackling through the ether and growing into the air. My question is, would you like to counterspell, and which spell would you like to counterspell?
One of them to come back to.
Also, Vannon, I will
Yes.
say, what's your intelligence?
20.
20? You will know full well that if this rhinoceros grows to full size, yeah, that ceiling's going bye-bye. And maybe half of the kitchen.
But I know what the abjuration spell is being cast.
What's the highest level spell that you know?
5.
5? Give me 1 second. I need to double check what spell this is. What level spell are you? I know I'm not gonna say it just in case you guys know what exactly it is. Let's see.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Let's see. Oh, it is not abjuration. My bad.
Oh, well, that changes. Oh boy, what's gonna happen now?
I can let you change your mind. Give me 1 moment. You
Yeah.
see what looks to it. The description remains the same, but it looks to me more of an evocation.
Okay, well that changes things.
Evocation changes things a lot.
Yeah, so I'm not summoning a rhinoceros and thumber. I'm death warding myself.
Yeah, it makes a difference what's about to happen. Remember, the professor's been backpedaling this whole time. He started to, anyways. I don't know how quick this is happening. He's just going back up the stairs.
Yeah, no, that changes things. I'm like, okay, she's protecting. Oh, what? Nah, if she's not protecting herself, I'm death warding myself.
So Vanin will
Okay.
counterspell Abjuration at level 5.
So you're level 5.
Evocation spell. Yeah, at level 5.
Actually, this is a spell that you would recognize. This is Autolux Resilient Sphere that she's casting on herself.
Yeah,
As
never
Daisy charges towards her, she is immediately going to press her hand against her chest, creating that barrier. Do you counterspell?
No.
Okay. You stay your hand, throwing it aside. Daisy, you press your hand against your own armor, creating the death ward as some of the group immediately scatter out. All of you will see immediately erupting from the princess in front of you a large sphere that she is holding her hands against as she seems to roll it inside of the kitchen, just looking at all of you wide-eyed.
I'll stand there aggressively, like, tell me where she is now.
I have no idea what you're talking about, and this is like mostly muffled through the barrier.
Please don't destroy the house. Comes from down the stairs.
I'm trying not to, but for some reason, Daisy's trying to kill me.
I'm going to cast Locate Creatures. And I will try to locate the princess herself. The actual princess. And see if this person in front of me gives the same
Can
thing.
you put the spell into the chat, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Within 1,000 feet of you. Okay. Ah, that's actually kind of funny. That end part of the spell is just very out there for no reason. The spell can't locate a creature if running water is at least 10 feet wide, blocks a direct path between you and the creature. Interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, if there's like a river between you and
actually.
the creature, yeah, I can't detect it.
That sounds very Sleepy Hollow-y.
Okay. You suddenly see what looks to be a large puddle in the kitchen between yourself now.
Very large puddles.
The spell does not go off.
Does it use my spell slot?
Yes.
Okay. So I feel like I was countered spelled, or is there another reason why?
You feel as if there's a sudden tug. Like the spell goes off, and you feel that same sensation of being pulled in the direction towards the east, which you know full well you're you know that the professor's building, your professor's room, faces towards the east. You know that she is not facing towards the east. She's facing around the southwest in the kitchen,
Right.
Toward the ocean, essentially. Sorry.
towards the
Go ahead.
ocean.
Okay, I just went. Sorry.
At that moment, Daisy will say, Dune, flanker, professor, check your room.
Already
Dune,
flanking her.
hold. Is there anyone within 20 feet of this sphere? As soon as I hear Daisy say that.
Technically, yes. You're all within a good, 10, 15 feet of the sphere. It is a confined space.
Screw it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pull into my
What is
back
Frank?
pocket and get a handful of white little pellets that I'm gonna throw into the room, and a 20-foot cube centered on the position of the sphere fills with webbing. As I throw web pellets in the room.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Let's
As-
go!
All of you see a scattering of small pearl-like white little baubles immediately scatter into the room. You'll see her looking down through the large sphere that surrounds her, looks over all of you. You all see Vrek call out. What do you say, Vrek? Because you know what's about to happen here.
Well, it doesn't affect her, but it keeps the spheristic.
Right,
the
but you also know that you're probably gonna get a few of your companions.
Oh yeah.
It's
No,
duck and
I'll
cover.
be. I wasn't thinking that far ahead. No, hold back, Dune. I can keep her in place.
Alright, now
Okay,
Yeah.
as I'm
Move
guessing
back.
this is web.
It's web, yeah.
Okay, everyone make me dexterity saving throws, please.
Am I clear of it if I began backpedaling up the
You
stairs?
are
Am I clear of
upstairs,
it?
yes,
Okay.
you are upstairs.
The save DC is 18.
Damn, matey.
You're right.
That
Daisy
includes
means
you, Vrek.
business.
You are technically
Yeah, I'm
in
working
this
on it. I'm working
zone
on it.
as well. Oh wait, I need to get Harry. Give me a
Yeah,
second.
get her.
He's here as well.
Well, at least
You should
he
be able
has
to do it, right?
the Bonnie thing in case he fails. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's
exactly.
fine.
He's got a decent deck.
He's immediately ducks out of the door, full on gangster style, just flying out and impacts against the ground outside. As Daisy, you immediately hear Vrek calling out, and you see some of these baubles scatter out directly underneath all of you. You duck to the side where the staircase is before there's an immediate eruption of pale white webs that stick to everyone in the room. Vannon, Vrek, and Dune are currently suspended a good 5 feet in the air, currently held by all of these webs.
So, fun
You
fact,
will
I
also
still have my
see-
polarizing lenses activated because that is not concentration.
You will also see that the large sphere that is currently in the kitchen is also suspended and is unable to move from its location. As you'll see,
What the hell?
You just hear Dune yelling at Infernal, swearing and talking about burning the house down at this point.
you just hear that coming from inside a sphere.
And Dune will just yell, stop, in Infernal.
Dune will not Dune. Daisy will look straight at her eyes and say, "You have one chance. Tell me where she is now." I'm trying to intimidate her.
Roll me an intimidation check.
I'm going to add
I'm
5
bad.
to that.
Okay.
using my reaction.
Gotcha. Okay. You'll see it recoil back, the figure in the orb looking around, as you'll see the princess still looks over at all of you, eyes wide. I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean. It's at this moment, Daisy, you'll see that some of the purple like robes that you know that the princess wears, some of them at the bottom seem to slowly turn gray, as if the color was drained from them.
I'll keep looking with a cold stare. I'm like, how sick him on you? You want that?
Who are you pointing at?
At you. At dude.
You just see an angry, just thrashing around dude, just still swearing infernal, trying to burn that, prompting to burn the house down. He's not. He's not very happy.
Okay. At
So
this moment in time,
Mhm.
you see the figure looking at you, looking around at the group, before slowly it seems to ease down and drop onto the bottom of the sphere. You see what looks to be the purple like robes that seem to surround her form, slowly fading into that sickly gray light color as she will eventually begin to step forward to the edge of the sphere, placing her hand onto it as you see that pale purplish like skin slowly fade into a sickly gray, the rest of the clothing slowly fading into a single light color as the clothing and skin seem to slowly meld into a singular form. You see the rigid like curves and slowly twisting, turning into a lanky like figure, appendages rising and stretching, extended, set of pale white eyes looking at all of you as you see the details of the princess slowly meld and melt and slowly crackle away until there is nothing but a blank, faceless figure looking towards you. Two sets of pale white eyes looking at all of you from a set of grey and purplish like translucent flesh.
Can I try and break out?
Roll me a dexterity saving throw. No, it'd be an athletics check, please.
Yeah, it's a
You
strength check.
hear
What's
coming
DC?
from inside the sphere. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I
What's
lost
the
21.
DC?
It's 19.
Okay.
They rolled out, then turn off. Yeah, it's 19.
Is it an athletics or a dexterity saving throw,
A
Vrek?
creature restrained by the webs can use its action to make a strength check against your
Okay.
spell save DC, which is infinitely harder. It doesn't say athletics or save. It says a strength check.
Strength check. So
Okay.
Moon, make me a
Base
strength
check.
check,
Alright.
please.
Those
Let
base
me make
check.
sure I have this turned off real quick. Okay, let me try it again.
And it is 18.
19.
Nice.
Hey,
You
there
are
you go.
able to snap out of some of the nearby webbing as the creature, now resting, standing on two long legs, clothing no longer apparent across completely barren looking flesh. You see it slowly turning around at each and every one of you before eventually resting on Daisy. as all of you can hear in the back of your mind a voice slowly warping from the face that has no mouth. If I am willing to accept your particular,
You cut
what
out there,
do
Rob.
I? If I am to accept your particular fact, who am I to trust that you'll allow me to live alive in one piece?
Understandably so. It is quite the hostile situation after all. However, depending on your allegiances, your life will be spared. All I
My
want is information.
allegiance is to no one of your concern.
Shame. I know someone who's quite good at interrogations, and I'm willing to let you live. He, on the other hand, oh, he's quite ruthless. So I suggest you work with us. Trying to intimidate again.
You don't tell her she wants to rip your fucking spine out of your chest. Can I say I'm trying to attempt to help?
It is at this point, both of you will realize intimidation doesn't seem to affect this creature anymore.
Damn it.
You see, it seems to
Good try.
be holding it against the sphere, pressing against it, looking at all of you. And for those that are familiar with the arcane, you are free to make a Arcana check. For those that are more nature-based, you're free to make me a nature check.
I am. I have a proficiency in nature.
Shannon with the natural 20.
I'm not proficient, sadly. Oh well.
In
Wow.
nature?
No,
I am, but I'm not
I get
good.
a bonus from my mark, but I'm not proficient.
One off
I
of natural
wouldn't
20, okay.
I wouldn't get this roll, correct, Rob? I'm not technically in the room. I don't see it.
No, you do not get
Yeah.
this. You're currently upstairs. You can hear the muffled conversation, but you have not seen this creature.
Oh, did I get that message, that telepathic message just now?
You
Real
did.
question. Okay.
Vannon, you know exactly what this creature is. This is a doppelganger.
Even at 19. Dang.
Dune, you've recognized one of these creatures. You've come across it before.
Okay.
You don't exactly know the name of the creature, but both of you will know that usually these changeling-like shapeshifters, monstrosities, usually conjurations or summons from higher power of particular higher standing, usually can read the minds of their targets and can gather information. However, usually it takes time for that to develop. You would also know that they can transform into most humanoid-like creatures as long as they've seen it before.
Okay.
The one thing that does seem to catch your attention, Vannon in particular, is what looks to be a signet ring resting on its right hand that seems to be melted into the finger itself. And you do indeed recognize the symbol that's resting on it. One of an upside down worm with its maws resting over a singular pelt. A crest you're very familiar with. The voice once again warping into each of your minds. I have full ability to leave if I wish. You see it slowly twist and shape, turning into an exact copy of Daisy, now standing inside of the sphere with a crooked, evil-like grin that seems to glance around at everyone inside the room. You see the twisted form of Daisy slowly stand up into attention, straightening her collar as it speaks out in the exact tone of Daisy's voice now all in your minds. And I can understand that each and every one of you are needing something from me. Something dear. She slowly twists and shapes. You'll see standing in front of all of you the masked figure, blue, draconic like scales covering most of her form. For some of you, a very fresh image of it fading away. Olive stands in front of you, hands out against the sphere. As you see the mask slowly retracting, you see the face completely blank, with the two white eyes staring at all of you. And I have ways to make sure that you never forget the message that was needed to be delivered.
All right. Since you can clearly get out of here whenever you want, what's the message? Why go through the trouble of taking her form?
I'll snap my fingers and dissolve the web pellets.
And I want to, since I'm here also, man, I want to start sneaking back down the stairs and just far enough so I can get a glimpse of what's happening in the kitchen, if that's possible from the stairs. I don't know exactly how the house is laid out.
Are you trying to be stealthy? Or
Yeah, yeah,
are
yeah.
you just trying? Okay.
100%, yeah.
Go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
Okay.
Just on the off chance.
Sure,
Okay.
sure. Oh,
There.
it was
Yeah,
almost there.
disadvantage. Yeah. Anyways, you are able to sneak to the top of the staircase, looking through the crack and watching the conversation unfold.
Okay.
Fear still out and prepared as the melting of the web slowly retract, allowing those that are suspended to be resting on their feet again. You should have followed the paper trail that we had left you. Maybe he might have saved your friend. Maybe he might have caused us not to interfere any further. You see, you had something of ours that we wanted, something of ours that we were very needing of, and you decided to turn your backs on us. Well, there's no turning backs on us anymore, is there? We have you upright and center, straight down the middle. If we don't make this perfectly clear like we haven't made it before, we want your attention. And if you don't want us to do a little more burning like we did last time, I suggest you make that paper trail back to where we sent you before.
What is
Unless
it
you
that,
want our little friend to no longer be your issue.
what is it that you want? Because you should come to understand that this whole group is quite dysfunctional. We're all have different goals, different things that we are searching for. What one has, they may keep silent. So come out with it, so we can put all the correct cards on the table to resolve this current issue.
Trail has already been set. One of you, at least one that was one of you, has already made the trek. You're just the one that needs to ride it down the winding hole, which she might have been able to help you with, but not anymore. Good luck with it. You see him reach down, taking the signet ring off of his finger, throwing it down to the ground where the sphere is, before you see him slowly beginning to retract, melting away, slowly turning into a withered pocket of dust and small bits of dried up, what looks to be gum and pieces of back and sinew, until eventually what looks to be just a crumbling mess of dust is all that remains at the bottom of the sphere, and the sphere dispels, allowing the signet ring to clatter to the ground in the center of the kitchen.
I'm gonna mage hand to pick it up.
You pick up the signet ring and you do see a familiar crest, one of an upside worm with its maws reaching out for a singular sun-shaped pellet, which you are more than familiar with, is the crest of the Zentarum.
Vrek is not familiar with that.
For most of you, you are familiar with the crest of the Zentarum. Vrek, on the other hand,
No idea who they are.
you've
Well, I've heard.
seen this crest once or twice,
Yeah.
especially within respite.
Right, that's fair.
And especially with the individual that had granted you your original equipment,
Hmm.
the familiar Kenku of the Bordeaux underneath respite itself, that you've seen the Kenku, the pale white feathered Kenku at the front bar of the Bordeaux, does indeed have a earring that has a dangling worm-like pendant that's similar to the one on the crest of the signet ring.
So what was this thing talking about?
What was it
Well,
talking about?
2, maybe 3 weeks ago, before we met you, this town was attacked by a group of slavers. It seems that our deceased comrade, according to what that thing said, if it can be believed, had it their track. I convinced her and Harry that we needed to deal with the growing problem of the green before we headed out and did that thing. It seems, indeed, some things were more urgent than others, or rather the same priority.
Yes, I was here
And,
for that attack. It made a lot of
oh,
noise.
yes. I wish that I had,
I actually used that cover to get out.
well, I wished I had, followed my friend and gone where she wanted to go. Then we wouldn't be in this mess.
Well, I understand if she didn't make it that urgent that you wouldn't see the need to go after it.
No, she did, but, we managed to convince as a party that one had precedence over the other.
I dismiss the mage hand and the
Daisy.
ring drops to the floor.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Daisy,
Mhm.
it is now at this point that you're having a moment to recollect and look around. You will notice, even though the room looks right, you'll notice distinctly there are scratches and scrape marks all across the floor in the dining room and in the living room.
Which direction are they going? Out the door? Front door?
You see what looks to be. Well, first of all, give me an investigation check, please.
Right. I'm going to
This
guidance
is
myself.
mostly your passive perception, just catching small hints. From what you can see, with a 17, you can see that there are larger scrapes across the floor that seem to be mostly from pieces of furniture. From what you believe, obviously there have been pieces of furniture that were moved, tossed aside, or maybe tossed over that have been placed back into their original places. You look around and look for the scratch marks, and you can see that there are one set of scratch marks that lead into the doorway to the basement, and a second set of scratch marks that lead out from the front door.
Alright. I want to see if the door to the basement is trapped in any way.
Roll me an investigation check, please.
Would you like
Obviously,
my
use
help?
guidance again. Yes, please.
Oh
Um,
yes, please help.
I still have my polarizing lenses activated. Basically invisible ethereal. But
Mhm.
you want me to do an investigation?
Yes, please.
All right. Can I do it at advantage if I'm using? I'm doing the help. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
24.
Nice.
24. You immediately putting on the lens, you can see what looks to be a small uh, arcane barrier that seems to rest over the lock of this door. And that seems to have been activated still. The rest of the door, there doesn't seem to be any traps or anything that shows any signs of tampering, apart from that small barrier around the lock,
All right.
which
Yeah, I'll
I
let these
believe
in.
you would recognize to be an arcane lock.
Well, looks like somebody put an arcane lock on the door.
Alright, so that was there from the beginning. So if you don't see any magical traps, then this is not trapped. We should go check the basement
Very well.
for any more clues.
Show me the way.
So I tried to open the door.
Okay. You try and open the door, and it does not open.
Fannin, was it you who had the key to this thing?
He's gone again.
I think
Alright.
we put an arcane lock on it, but the princess originally got through it. I don't know if it's still on it or not.
Well, this thing is clearly locked and has the
Okay,
arcane lock
so
in it.
yeah, that's
Um,
that'll do it.
Vannon will confirm that that is his arcane lock, and he can essentially unlock it for you.
I would ask if he could, if he's willing.
He does.
Alright, I cast light on the tip of the withering staff and down we go. Towards the
Okay.
basement.
Actually,
You open the door.
Oh, you have wrecked the
is light
basement. Is what I
a
wanted to check.
concentration?
No.
Okay.
I don't
I
believe
think
so.
no.
It's just a cantrip, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Never mind. Continue.
You light the staff, seeing the winding basement make its way down, the staircase leading down to the large basement, where you see the small makings of the brazier, still pockmarked with other signs of dark incantations. And you can see resting inside of the brazier what looks to be a piece of parchment that is not currently burnt.
I
You'll
grab it.
see on the other side of the basement, from what you can see, is a large hole that has been slowly but surely started to be filled in, but the process seems to be halfway done.
Rick, what do you make of that hole there?
Oh, I have no idea.
Really? I thought,
What's in
okay.
the note, by the way?
Daisy, you can see written on the notes what looks to be a small scribbling of mostly a journal from what you can recognize. You see what looks to be the past few days of the princess uh, placing down her previous plans for the day and how it had gone. However, you'll see around the third day, you'll see that she's written down. I've heard multiple footsteps on the surface during this night. I know it was not them since there was too little number. But I know that the only ones that can get in here are the group or someone that they can trust. I hope that I can trust my instincts and allow that these people are friends and not foe.
Ooh.
May these sisters protect me.
All right. Do I make anything of this hole?
Roll me a nature check, please.
Sure.
Rick.
Is there any tools that I can use to help me? Hold on.
there any way I could assist him?
Masons might work.
I'd
Shall
say
we?
archaeological tools.
Can I help in any way
Okay.
with this? Because
I'll-
I'm also curious. Like, I'd help in any way I could because I'm curious what.
Yeah, I'll turn the screwdriver to get some archaeological tools.
Okay. Professor, are you by chance proficient in nature?
No, I'm not.
You can definitely roll your own nature check.
Okay.
And then would my magnifying glass help at all?
I would say yes, actually.
So I get advantage. All right.
There we
And
go.
because I'm using my tools, add 4 to this.
Okay.
So 33.
Vrek, you would
I
know
love
at
Vrek.
least that this is not an ant. This is not a Thakreen
Mhm.
built hole. This is mostly handmade. Obviously by shovel or hand,
Mhm.
but it seems to be mostly made out by humanoid based like creatures. From your understanding, it's very rudimentary, but the outside of the hole, like the actual outer rim of the hole, seems like it's been a number of years since this has been dug out. The earth in the actual hole itself seems like it's been done maybe a good week or so ago.
All right, yeah, I'll tell the group. It's very crude, not elegant, so it wasn't naturally done. It was humanoid, man-made. The last couple weeks, probably.
Professor and Vannon, looking at this hole, you remember that this hole went down a fair amount.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it
So
dived deep, like good, from your knowledge at least, a good 60 feet on a curve. This hole now seems to be maybe 20 foot deep.
Oh, I'm sorry, real quick. Can I
Oh.
check in with the cat to see if he has noticed anything that I'm specifically looking out for now that we're in Koinos?
Uh, if you do not mind, go ahead and send me what exactly he's been looking out for,
Sure.
and then I can give you an answer, because it has been some time.
Yeah, I understand.
And you're essentially saying the hole's been filled in some
The
way?
hole has been filled in. Yeah.
Alright. Okay, yeah, so this is someone's been filling this hole in. Pretty impressive rate.
Okay.
Oh shit,
Yeah,
Professor.
that's what he's looking for because of yeah.
The cat
Yeah.
seems to give you a heads up. There seems to be a new patron at the Gem Saloon.
Okay, I'll keep that to myself for now.
Do I think the princess could have done this in this amount of time?
You remember her to be a more smaller, almost frail uh individual. Definitely,
Seems like a lot of work, right?
you'd say it would look like a lot of work for someone of her size and stature, and you would know her to be more of a spellcaster.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
she
Let's
did do
go
this,
more
she
around a.
probably,
Sorry, go ahead.
if she did fill this in, it was probably through the arcane enchantments, not by physical labor.
Sure, yeah. So looking around the room, is there any evidence that the soil was taken from somewhere, like dug up and then filled in there, or is it just more that it's kind of come out of nowhere? As far
You
as I can
look
tell.
around, and you do notice what look to be two shovels resting on the side of the hole.
Okay, all right.
So, as somebody who is very familiar with the creation of holes and tunnels,
Yes, yes.
would I have a much better sense of where it would come from? Was it from below? Was it from above? Was it from here? Was it brought in? Does it look like somebody that they describe, the woman that they describe, would have done this kind of thing?
Roll me a survival check.
I don't think there's any tools I can add to this.
You can't really.
I'm trying to
Not with this
think.
one. I would
I mean,
argue
I'm proficient in shovel, but
with thieves' tools. I would
okay.
argue thieves' tools,
I'll.
but
I
yeah,
mean,
let's go for thieves' tools.
all right.
Let's go
So
with thieves'
won't be at
tools.
advantage, but you're gonna add 8 to this.
Okay,
So 16.
16. You immediately start moving around. All of you watch as Vrek starts like getting down on the ground, starts even like you hear a slight sniffing coming from him as he's starting to move around, slight vibrations coming from behind the mask.
Actually, I
As
think at this point
eventually,
I would drop my disguise.
yeah,
All four
you'll
arms come
all
out.
see
Oh, there you go.
Vrek retrieve all four arms, now seeing his full Thakreen form as you see him immediately getting down the ground, getting close to the earth itself. As you begin to move around, Vrek, you'll recognize that there was no way that someone wouldn't recognize this amount of earth being moved
Mm-hmm.
from upstairs. So either
It
the
came from.
earth was created
Mm-hmm.
or it came from the other end of this tunnel.
Yeah, and I'll tell. I sorry, Professor. I know you're wise in the way of the world, but from what I hear, the woman you described could not have done this, and it either came from down there or it
Yeah,
was created here.
yeah, kind of confirming what I thought.
I'll chime in and say she probably created it. She had quite the green thumb, if you will. So I'm not surprised
Yeah.
she can create
Sure.
Earth.
I mean, there's 2 shovels over there. I don't know.
I mean,
Uh,
let's be real. She created a giant, towering behemoth of a freaking Earth elemental, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, no kidding.
sure. Yeah, no, she could have if she wanted to.
I don't believe you can grow dirt.
It's a shame because I really wanted us to explore down there at some point. No, someone's got us
I mean, you
filled
can
in.
always dig down.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
very good at digging.
Sure. Thing is, it kind of
Sometime.
it didn't like we didn't see an end to it, right, Rob? It just kind of kept going, just past
Uh,
our vision.
You saw that there was a good solid, like, 30-foot drop before it began to curve. And by the time that you saw that curve, a good 60 feet down, it seemed to escape your vision. Neither of you
Okay.
actually went down there.
Yeah, about 60 feet down, it curves off, so they filled more than like they filled it. This was filled in a lot. This is a shame, you know. I mean, maybe one day we can dig through it, but that's a lot of work. I don't want to do it right now.
That's not the most pressing of matters right
Yeah,
now.
that too.
For those that do inspect the shovels, you will actually see that there is a fine amount of dirt along both of the blades, showing that there is adamant use of at least both of these over maybe the last few days.
Sure. It was a princess. I wonder why she was so, I don't guess, dead set on filling this hole.
We can ask her
Maybe
that
she
when we
knew.
get her back.
Sure.
Also,
For those that are proficient in perception, roll me an investigation check, please.
We're proficient in perceptual investigation.
Yes, please.
Great.
So
with
Not my night.
guidance.
It's not my night.
Hey.
technically, I would be proficient in perception if I use navigator's tools. So I'll let you decide if I can roll or not.
You know what? Sure, why not?
Okay.
You're checking all avenues at this
Hey,
point.
there's some
Fucking hell,
good.
Vrek is the complete opposite of Olive, apparently, because
he
he
is.
only knows how to roll nat 20s.
And he's good at perceiving and investigating. I love Rick. I've been so happy I could play him.
Daisy,
Yeah, pretty
you would
useful
start
so
to
far.
Yeah.
recognize something
hmm
as you start looking around, and it would then be a moment of recognition as Vrek starts to call out, yeah, there's a lot of these, like, divots in the ground. Like, someone wasn't putting dirt in, they were taking dirt out.
Which makes sense, because if you believe the dirt was magically created, why would you use shovels?
Hmm.
They're trying to shovel dirt out of the hole?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay, I guess someone wanted to not fill it.
But if you only had one gardener, why are there two shovels?
Yeah.
Oh, they came with a house. I
But they're
believe.
used.
You would also, for
Hmm.
those that are proficient in history,
Hey.
you would remember there were 2 plates laid on that table.
Yeah,
Fuck.
Again, if you have one gardener, why do you have two shovels?
yeah, no, because those weren't, I don't think they were down there when I came down here originally, when we bought the house. Do I remember, Rob, if they were both down there?
There were no shovels down here the
Okay.
last time that you checked.
Alright. Yeah,
You remember that hole was empty and barren, and both you and Vannon looked down there and you're like, yeah, you're not gonna check that out right now. It's the middle of the night.
it's our
But you
princess
knew it was deep
imposter.
and it was underneath your house.
Yes.
Now it is filled in all the way up to 20 feet deep, and there are 2 shovels to the side of the hole that show that they have been used over the last few days.
Yeah, our princess imposter had a friend, it looks like, maybe?
No. The sorry, yeah, you said Princess Imposter. Yeah, no, it probably does have
Yeah.
a friend. And
Probably.
yeah, we don't know if they're still in the house or not, and we don't know if they're still in town or not.
I mean, if
What
they were
did they
both the
want with
same.
the hole, though?
Yes, and if they're both the same, I think the chance of finding the accomplice is next to nothing, right? Like, there's no way we can.
Yeah, Freck, do you have your things still?
What thing?
The things that are not here.
How long has it been since we entered the back door?
You would believe maybe a good 30, 40 minutes at this point.
Yeah, I still have my glasses for about another 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay, and there's nothing here? No invisible scry orbs or whatever?
I'll look around with my polarized lenses. Do I see anything invisible or ethereal?
You do not.
No, it's just us.
All right. From now on, if we ever find ourselves in a situation doubting who we are, or rather the person you're talking to, we have a new passphrase. And I will hand it out written in paper, and I shall not say it out loud.
Okay.
And once they're done, I light up the brazier.
Okay.
Once you're done with it, throw it in the fire. And the phrase is, the owl flies home to find respite after a long day's hunt. The after a long day's hunt is the response to the first half.
Okay.
Yeah, you should write that
As
one down.
one of you are passing that down, you might want to write
The
that
notes,
down.
probably.
I can, you know,
Yeah,
I will
I
give
have
you a
it.
note for this.
Sorry, I was kind of
So,
distracted. What was it? Okay, can someone write it down somewhere, please?
grave undertaking,
Exactly.
secret code word, secret phrase.
Okay.
The first person asks, well, the first person says the owl flies home to respite. The second person will respond after a long day's hunt.
All right.
This moment in time, as each of you throw your parchment into the brazier that is currently alight, both Daisy and Vannon will hear the sound of gunfire echoing out above all of you.
Rush upstairs.
Yep, I'm going upstairs immediately, axe in hand.
Stay out, staff out.
I'm going to redorn my disguise and follow. Where is
Okay,
my
you
bag?
guys follow up. Where do you guys hear? Where do you guys go? You go up to the top of the staircase. You get to the surface.
Yeah,
It's
as
towards
I
Harry. I'm
yeah,
pretty sure it's Harry, so towards Harry.
as I get to the top of the stairs,
Wasn't with
I'm
us?
going to.
He wasn't with us the whole time.
Harry was not with you. No.
Okay.
As I get to the top of the stairs and get to outside, I'm going to use a shift. Lasts for 1 minute. Preparing myself for anything.
Actually, that's a good point. I will go ahead and pull out my blue spider and have him in
Yeah.
one of my small hands.
By the way, Grave Undertaking secret phrase is now in discovered notes.
Woo! Thanks, Rod.
So,
What
let's see.
about the secret phase?
The secret phrase.
The super duper secret phrase.
Bazinga.
The thrush flies south at midnight.
And knocks
That's
twice
a
against
shrubbery.
the wall.
Against the wall.
And raps at the chamber door.
On Doran's day.
So, you guys are making your way up. You make your way up to the ground floor.
Yep.
The kitchen is still quite a mess, as well as the living room as you guys have moved around. There is no signs of Harry.
Locate creatures, 4th level. Harry Harrington.
Did the gunshot sound like it came from inside or outside?
They seem to be coming from up. You guys were in the basement.
Okay.
You
I'm continuing upstairs.
cast a spell. Daisy, you feel the presence directly above you.
Okay.
I'm running
He's
upstairs.
still in the house. Hurry up.
Yep, I just said I'm running upstairs as fast as I can.
Daisy, and everyone in the house, you hear a cacophonous sound of another two shots being fired into the air. Until eventually, as you guys make your way to the top of the stairs, you'll hear the distinctful, very high-pitched blasting sound of olive branch being blasted throughout the entire of the corridor.
Damn. That's something.
Where's the enemy?
You look over, Daisy, as you get to the top of the stairs, Dune at the top of the stairs, you see Harry is at the opposite side of the corridor, olive branch out, he heaving breaths heavily as you see what looks to be dark purplish like fur covering most of his white fur, and smoke coming out of the barrel of olive branch, and his pistol on the ground still smoking as well.
Firing at nothing, or is there something there?
Uh, you saw Harry is at Olive's doorway.
Mm-hmm.
The door is shattered open. From the outside in. You can see that there is obvious marks on the door that Harry shot his way in by shooting the lock. From what you can see, there is a very distinctful dark-looking ichor that seems to be covering Harry's front.
First off,
As
everybody
he is
within 10
heaving
feet of
heavily.
me, when we get up there, has 13 temporary hit points. Which I believe is everybody.
Don't think
Yeah.
that will stack with what I have, so I will replace what I have.
Alright.
Okay.
And second, do I
You
see
all-
anything since I still have my lenses active?
You do not see anything.
There's nothing here,
I-
Daisy.
I rush over to Harry.
And I think I'll like when I get there, I'm going to like burst into the room that he's shooting into and just checking the room, saying what's going on, if there's anything in here that is
By
maybe he's shooting at.
time that you get hit to him, he's already pulled the bolt back. One of the shell's facings of Olive Branch slams down and clatters to the ground, pulling the bolt back forwards. You see him breathing heavily, looks over towards you, Daisy, for a moment, as
Mhm.
Dune, and you step into the room. You can see maybe 5 feet from the door, another one of the faceless-like creatures with the pale white eyes, with no distinctful humanoid features whatsoever, is on the ground with a gaping hole in his chest, with purple-like ichor spewing from it. You
Just
just see
maybe
Harry just staring over at the doppelganger, looks over at Daisy. It was looking at all of stuff, checking stuff.
just because I hate the undead, I'm cutting his head off right there, just to make sure it's dead.
Oh, I'm going to take
Swing
out my
down.
wand and do some thermoelectric bolts on it, set it on fire.
Is it an undead
Mm.
creature?
No, it's the second doppelganger.
Yeah, that's what I said. Undead.
Yeah.
And I'm just I don't like the undead.
Dude's
So I'm
making
cutting
sure
his
it
head
stays
off.
dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And I'm just holding its head by whatever I can hold it by, and just hold it up and just.
I'll look at Harry and
Wow.
say, "What was it, Olive?" Rather,
Harry
her form.
seems to just stare forwards towards the doppelganger,
So I get a
hands
feeling that
gripping the olive branch very tightly, as you can see, Daisy,
Mhm.
that there is a very wild but very clearly grieving look on Harry's face.
I hug Harry and tell him it's okay. You know she's not here.
Son of a bitch.
You know she's not here. She's in a better place. That was not Olive. They are cruel and they are mean. But you are strong, Harry.
He'll just turn, look at you, look over your shoulder at the rest of you. Where's Vannon?
I see
Vannon,
Vannon anywhere? Oh,
you are still currently in the basement, looking around and checking the nearby areas. You look along the edges of the hall, checking to see if there's any particular details or notes. Then you look over towards the brazier. Faint hint of light slowly appearing underneath the small metal of the brazier itself, where the ashes are collected. from most of the burnt up scriptures and parchment that you usually laced in, you do see what looks to be a small piece of jewelry.
Go ahead and grab that.
Roll a
You
wisdom
see-
save. Sorry.
You do see, as you take a close look at it, what looks to be a very fine looking earring that, as you look at it, has the same crest of Essrena on it. The very same earring that you recognize that Princess Arya originally wore when she had met you.
It was underneath the brazier.
Underneath the brazier.
Hmm. I'm trying to
As
remember,
you
when
pull it out, you can see written underneath it a singular piece of parchment. You recognize the language. You see written directly on the piece of parchment where the earring had been placed on the same crest of the Zentaur.
what does the note say?
Follow the trail.
Follow the yellow brick road. Walk back up
Make
to
your way up. Okay.
Yep.
Meanwhile, everyone inside Olive's room, Harry is stepping back, taking a moment to pick up his pistol, and is just clattering over and just leans against the wall.
Is he still covered in crap?
He is, yes.
I'm gonna press the digitation, clean him up.
He doesn't seem to respond, just staring blankly against the wall. Just looks down at his pistol, starts reloading it. Which you will recognize that his gun did indeed jam.
I'm gonna take this filth out, and I'm gonna
going
pick
to
up the
start
body.
collecting- Yeah, I'm going to start collecting all of Olive's documents and putting them in my bag. Even
I'm-
everything on the board, I want to notice how she
You
planned it and store it.
So from your perspective, this is for some of you the first time you've actually seen inside of Olive's room. You can see what looks to be the open closet of a few pieces of clothing. What looks to be the crest of the HDM covering a small cloak on one side, mostly for ornamentary and ceremonial garb. You can also see what looks to be a very fine looking box of black felt that seems to have the crest of a spider resting at the front of it, resting at the top shelf of that cupboard. You can see littering across most of her dresser and desk what look to be multiple documents and multiple drawings and pieces of scribblings of what looks to be multiple names and individuals that seem to orient around Waterdeep and Baldur's Gates. You'll see that there are little connections around a large map of Waterdeep itself. And you'll see that there are red twine-like threads that seem to connect to multiple locations within Waterdeep. And then you'll see on the other side of the dresser another map of Baldur's Gate with other twining red and green threads that seem to interconnect. Multiple figures and drawn faces and other little crests and markings and sigils that seem to be a large key of a massive puzzle that was the mind of Olive. You'll notice as well that a lot of the detailings and a lot of the language that seems to be written in is Elven. You'll notice that very few pieces of information was laid out in common except for the names of locations. And you'll see that a lot of the pieces of information on the documents that she has written is also in Elven. However, a more jagged and very decrepit form of Elven that you don't fully recognize, but are able to translate enough through normal Elven measures. You'll start to see that there is a lot of sigils and symbols discerning the same wyvern-like uh, pendant that you had seen on the signet ring of the doppelganger, but also the earring of the Tenku at the Bordeaux, which is the crest of the Zentarum. That seems to be laced along most of these maps, but there also seems to be other markings along most of these maps. They have the same spider-like marking as the one that you saw on the front of her jewelry box in the dresser.
Do I recognize the other marking?
Which one?
The spider one. Because I recognize the Zentarum
Roll
one.
me a religion check, please.
Alright, and with guidance. Ooh, come on.
You would recognize this, yes.
Oh, 27.
You would recognize this to be the genuine symbol of Loth, the Queen of Drow, which you know for Olive became her reborn self. She was essentially a half Drow.
Yeah, I remember the high elf giving her shit.
You would recognize that there is a lot of lol symbols that seem to litter a lot of the maps that are around Baldur's Gate and Waterdeep. And you'll recognize that each of these locations marked with the spider has a black uh, thread to them, and each of the ones marked with the Zentarum has a red thread marked to them. You'll recognize that there are two different colors. One is a green and one is a blue. You'll recognize that the blue only seems to appear in Waterdeep, and there is only one thread of green, which is also in Waterdeep.
And no attached symbols.
You see attached to the purple threads, you'll do recognize one of the threads seem to connect to the symbolization of a harp.
So the harpers.
You do recognize there is some familiarity to the harper symbol and the harp drawing that has been made. Yes. Uh, to the green thread, you see what seems to be the picture of a campfire.
Which one would that be?
The green thread.
Okay. And do I know what the symbol of the campfire is?
You do not.
Ooh.
but there is only one singular green thread that is connected within Waterdeep.
Okay, and just to clarify, black thread is Lolf, the red is Zentarum. There's a purple one that is connected to the green harp, and then yeah, green's campfire.
Yeah.
And then blue. What's the blue's symbol?
The purple one.
No, blue. Because you said green and blue. Where are the other
Oh,
two
my.
colors?
Sorry.
What's the purple one?
Purple is the one with the harp.
Mm-hmm.
The blue is actually connected to Essrena, the large map of Essrena,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see that there is red and black threads spread across that map as well. You'll see what looks to be a blue and purple thread that seems to connect Respite and Windspear. And you do recognize that the purple thread does land in the Harper's location. You'll see that the the blue line seems to connect up to the top peak of Windspear and seems to connect it to Avon.
And no symbol along the way for the blue one, correct?
No symbol from what you can see on the blue one, no.
Olive wasn't crazy. You're crazy.
Olive crazy? No. What? Most sane
You'll
half drug I've ever
see
met.
that there are a lot of question marks written along a lot of these intertwining threads. You'll see that she has connected a red thread between Fort Ridian, Respite, and the top of Windspear, along with the purple one that is connecting to Respite and the Harper's area.
Oh my god, it's the Windspear Triangle.
It's the Kinos
Sorry, I
triangle.
couldn't hold it in.
Good. Lord.
And you can see there is a large circle that surrounds Windspear, obviously drawn by Olive, that puts the hop and the worm crest, and like there's a plus sign next to it, and you just see equals and then another question mark. You'll also see what look to be 3 wanted posters.
Yeah.
All of which you recognize to be Drow. And you'll see that on close inspection, both the eyes and the mouth have been impacted by some form of blade along the posters. There are no names to the posters, however. There are the wanted posters, which say dead or alive, with the faces of 3 drow. Each of them have the crest of what looks to be a hopper's crest on the left side. However, it would be Daisy that would recognize underneath the collar of the other side of the drow is the crest of the Zentarum. So on the left side of the posters, there is a distinct display of the Harper's crest on the left collar. But underneath the right collar, the Zentarum crest is hidden. You'll see that each of these drow individuals, if taken and found alive, will be rewarded with the sum of 1,500 gold pieces each. And if dead, will be summed to 800 gold pieces each. You will recognize that all three of these posters seem relatively old. There is a fine amount of wear and tear along these posters. However, they seem to have been maintained enough to show most of the details of the faces. And you'll see all all three of those posters has a black and red thread connecting to both Avin, Respite, and Windspear.
All right. I'm going to store all of it in my backpack
Oh, I'm gonna go
as
take this and burn the body, burn the
as
trash.
neatly as possible. I want to keep her hard work intact.
Yeah, enjoy
You
deciphering that.
you believe that if you took the board down, this is a large board, by the way. This
It's
is
like a whole
like
wall.
Okay,
yeah, it is covering the entirety of the wall
Okay.
kind of
Ah,
size.
Olive.
I'll take like the
You would
each
know that
individual
if you
map.
pulled it down, yeah, you would know that if you pulled it down with the maps, the threads would not go with the maps. You'd essentially tear the maps with the interconnecting threads.
Is there a
There
way
is
to keep
no
the threads of
way,
them?
there is no distinctful way unless you bring the wall off.
Fair. All right. I'll write all of it down. Daisy's notes will specify every connection that she sees, and then once she has completely copied Olive's diagram, she will pull out the threads and put away the maps.
Dune,
Mhm.
you have taken the doppelganger out of the room.
Yep.
The moment that you make your way to the bottom, you'll recognize that the doppelganger, in the grasping of its hands, that you didn't realize for most of you, that it was holding something as you start to dig up a nearby grave for it.
I'll kind of reach its hand, open its hand, and see what it's holding.
You see what looks to be a piece of parchment that is a contract from what you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, from your understanding, you see what looks to be the crest of the hoppers along the top of the contract. You'll see that there was a denial crest at the bottom of the contract. And you'll see at the bottom the name of the contract is one Olive Flowers.
Actually,
Mhm.
the contract would be Olivia.
Olivia Flowers. There we go. And you'll see at the bottom what looks to be two names that have been scratched at the bottom. That are mostly distinctful a reddish color like blood.
I'll look at it, and I'll put it in like a pocket I have. Finish what I was doing, and then I'm gonna go back upstairs. Once I'm finished done what I'm doing, I'll hand it to Daisy, and just hand it to her.
So what does the contract say?
You'll see that there is the contract under one Dorius Twine of the Hoppers of Waterdeep that Olivia Flowers would be integrated into the Hoppers Guild and be allowed to have the foundations and acceptance to therefore essentially be part of the guild. Have access to all of their facilities and have access to the quests being sent out and given by the guild of Waterdeep. That was the Harpers. You'll see that the bottom has been stamped with a denial. And the reasoning underneath is dangerous tendencies, obsession with guild that is no longer part of our concern. And you'll see written in blood at the bottom, clearly by some nail or some form of blade, what looks to be the names of Yunt Frenov, and give me 1 second. And Travius Gamevia.
Well then, you
Yeah.
can see why Olive had a taste for the Harpers. And I'll put this with the other documents that are on Olive's desk, and I'm putting away in my backpack. I move over to
Sure.
the big box and look over at the felt one.
Okay. You'll
See it
see it resting at the
locked.
top of the dresser. You do see what looks to be a small lock at the front, yes.
Why would the
Alright.
doppelganger take that one? Is that important to you all?
No, but it's definitely important to Olive.
Yep.
I'm sure this is her blood after all. Alright, might as well see what's inside this thing. So, anyone, or rather, Professor, mind opening it?
Yeah. Let me see it.
All guidance, a Professor.
I'll give the help action,
I'll
as I am also
attempt-
proficient in
Oh, hell yeah.
lockpicking.
Yeah, I'll attempt to open it with Rex help.
All right.
I'll let you have advantage.
Alright.
I don't need to outshine you in this.
Thank you. What did I do? You see? Oh, you still. Okay. There we go. Oh, wait, you're helping, right?
Yeah,
See another roll.
advantage. Mhm.
Okay.
And then guidance.
Damn. Well, hopefully, not too complicated to lock. 19 then.
19. It's you're surprised by how intricate the lock is for a moment before eventually it is opened. You'll see what looks to be a small silver locket, similar to the ones that you found in Trist.
Okay. Another one of those lockets.
However, you'll
I
notice that the face is down, and you'll see resting next to it a small name card, which seems to be written out in Sylvan, which is to my sweet flower. May you grow strong.
Said it's face down.
Yes.
Can I just kind of cajole the
So
box?
the crest of the hoppers is facing downwards.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just want to just flick the box with my wrist to flip the locket over face up if I can.
You face it up.
Yes.
The crest of the hoppers is at the front of the silver locket.
Hmm.
I grab the locket and open it.
You open it,
Mm-hmm.
and you see what looks to be a very beautiful drow-like woman holding what looks to be a tiny drow-like baby in her hands. The vision seems to stay there in the clasp for a moment before slowly fading away. You'll recognize that the woman is human.
The woman is human.
The woman is human. Sorry, it was not drow, it was human. Holding what looks to be a drowish-like baby in her hands, smiling before eventually fading away.
What was she holding in her hands?
A small drow-like baby
Okay.
of mostly darkish-like skin. You'll see the distinctful tips of the ears, but the same grayish-like skin of olive for what you can recognize.
Yeah, it's all his mum and Olive herself. You know, when you finally pull back the veil, you start to understand why people react some way.
Yeah.
I close the locket, I close the box, and I look around at the party. It's okay if I stay with this one? Does it belong to Olive? Or do you want it, Harry?
No difference to me.
I think it'd be best if Harry had it personally.
Is Harry still in shock?
He is sitting outside in the corridor, still leaning, trying to check over his weapons. You'll see he's currently having a little bit of trouble with his pistol that had originally jammed, currently trying to get the loose casing from one of the nearby barrels.
If you need someone to discard it, I can destroy it for you.
I don't think we need that, Brett.
No.
Thank you for the offer,
No,
though.
But thank you.
I'll keep a hold of it.
Oh,
until
did I
Harry asks for
read
it.
the situation wrong? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I'll keep it, and I also add it to my bag.
I thought you were trying to offer it to someone to get rid of.
No, Olive was Harry's best friend, so that's why I asked.
Oh, right. Okay.
And we have to now go meet Olive's boss. So you better mask yourself well for that one.
Oh yeah, I'm back in my disguise.
Let's just go and get. Come on, let's go.
I will cast Sending to Roguish. And I will say, hey, it's Olive. Wait, not Olive. Daisy.
Out and on.
You're about to make
Yeah,
someone
it's Olive.
very angry.
yeah.
Say it's Olive.
That
It'll
was
be
me.
fun.
Sorry.
It'll be
Hey,
fun.
it's Daisy. We need to have a chat. Seems Olive's ghosts have reappeared. And I would like your help to deal with them. And also so you can check in on Harry. And I send that.
For a couple of seconds, you'll hear Roguish voice return. I'm currently on the, yeah, by all means, join me if you wish. And yes, I am indeed talking to you, my Morales.
Right? Like, Harry, once you're done there, let's head towards your, well, Olive's boss.
I will say one thing to each
Mm.
and every one in this room. That originally went to Trist. One of those names are familiar to you.
I have a feeling it's Yunt for some reason. I have to check my note. Eh. What's that?
You guys start making your way out, making your way towards the pier. My question for you right now is, are you doing it out in the open? Or how are you progressing with this?
Mm, out of sight as best as possible. Not trying to attract any attention.
You start making your way out, finding Dune looking over at the nearby owl house. Dune, you've been out here for a good minute as the body was slowly burning behind you in the remains of the garden at the back of your home. You recognize where the small owl house is that was made by Olive,
Mhm.
usually constantly visited by owls that would frequent the place. However, you'll recognize that there are no owls currently resting in the owl house. You will look up, expecting something to answer, but nothing does. Was there anything else that you wish to say?
No, I just. Right. And I'll just nod myself and I'll turn back around and meet up with everybody else.
As you turn, the rest of the group start making their way out of the back entrance.
Before we
So,
leave, sorry,
we going?
can I ask the cat, now that this hall has transpired, what the new patron looks like?
Dude, did you get rid of that lamb leg?
Cat will
Before we
be
go.
confused
Right.
for a moment. It's Vrek. Moment of your time.
Sure.
Vrek,
Mhm.
you try and communicate with the cat.
Mhm.
As you do, behind one of your eyes, slowly pulling out a large expanse of gathering stars, slowly filling the void of what you can only assume to be the space and sky of the surrounding land and drifting unknown abyss that seems to continuously flow around the material plane. As you look back, you'd see essentially the land of Essrena slowly building along the horizon before slowly coming into view. The two eyes, one an amber red, the other a emerald like green. Large eyes as big as moons slowly moves up before pulling back, displaying the astral-like feline face of the cat. He will lean in for a moment, inspecting you, before eventually pulling back once again and looking down at you with a mildly interested glance. Tell me, just out of my curiosity, what patron do you speak of?
Oh yeah, I had my little cat friend that follows me from our little event. Keep an eye out for any assassins from the Queen. And he said there's a new patron at the bar.
Well, let's just say the one that's seeking you is currently enjoying a stay with your buffet. Take that information as you will.
All right, so it kind of broke up. The one currently seeking me is what?
Is currently staying nearby.
Okay.
Take
Okay.
that as you will, my friend.
Thank you.
Oh,
Oh,
and by the
wonderful.
way,
Yes.
your group are quite entertaining. Keep it up.
Yes, absolutely. Wonderful cat.
Keep going onwards. I will be watching. And your vision fades back. We can go back now.
All right. Now, real quick.
Yes.
Do I know if the assassin is another Thrycreen? I would assume if the Queen sent it.
You would know that the assassin is indeed a Queen,
Mm-hmm.
and the Queen would have sent them, yes, if
Okay.
they are immediately aggressive.
So if they're at the bar or they're nearby, they're probably disguised. All right. Thank you.
No worries.
Saying if we want to do what they want is what I'm implying by working for them.
No, not
All
yet.
of you see Vrex's right eye turn a distinct full emerald green for a moment before eventually it fades away, returning to its normal
It probably
amber-like
glows.
gaze. Yes.
Like it probably illuminates green for a bit.
For a
You're
few
right.
moments.
You're right there, Rick.
Oh yes, the cat gave me wonderful insight.
Yeah, wonderful.
Well, there's something
You and
there.
Professor can talk about it.
We have.
Yes.
You and the Professor. All right, yeah, yeah.
Well, of course.
More the
Don't you
merrier, I
talk
guess.
to your group leader?
No,
Just keep me
You
abreast of the
should.
situation.
You should be on the same page.
I give him important information, but other than that, we don't talk often.
Look, an organization
Although-
or a workforce can only be as strong as the weakest link, and if the leader isn't strong or given proper information, then the group cannot move about as needed. You should
Well
really
said,
talk
Greg.
to your leader.
Well
I'll put
said.
it this way, Vrek. His father entrusted his life to my hands, so
And
I'll say that much. So
Did happen.
I do tell him everything that's important.
my mother entrusted her life to my hands.
All right, moving on.
Okay, let's continue.
You guys start making your way out. The question now is, as you said before, you are trying to be unnoticed.
Yeah, Daisy at least.
Oh yeah, same. I am camouflage carapacing 100%.
Okay. Rex slowly begins to fade away as the nearby colors and the ground seems to slowly mesh with his camouflage as he starts to make his way forwards.
So I have a
Mostly
question.
translucent. Yes,
So the part of the Cloak of Molten Shadow that gives disadvantage on perception checks, is that when it's attuned as well?
that's correct.
Mhm.
Damn it. Okay, never mind. It just looks cool on me right now.
I'll just try and like pull my hat down over my face. I'll just try and keep covering. I'll just talk to myself like, of course nothing answered. Why would it?
I will say anyone with a passive perception over 15 would notice that Vrek was looking around cautiously as he chameleon changed.
Understandable.
15 count? Are
Yeah.
you talking?
Meets and
Okay.
yeah, 15 or higher.
You guys will start making your way forwards. I need everyone to roll me stealth checks, please.
Is there a tool that can help with this?
Not really.
I think I can figure it out.
Damn.
Hold on.
Can we do a group stealth check? I
Also-
don't do that good.
No, I don't think I can
Since-
do a tool.
You weren't here, Park, because Rob kidnapped you.
Mhm.
I figured out who it was from the Tris thing, and I told the party.
Figure out who what was.
Crevius Grenvir is the Archon that we found in the Letters of the Zentarum.
Hey, notes.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, dude.
And because I am going to add 5 to that.
And Rob, Loki cut out a while ago if you want to roll a check for him
Yes,
as well.
I will do so. Actually, knowing Vannon, he might just go invisible.
Yeah, probably.
Sure.
Let's see. Ba, ba, ba. Does he have that? Yes, he does. And he would do so.
Oh yeah, he does.
So Vannon's going to go ahead and cast invisibility, which does give him advantage. So I will go ahead and steal for him with the advantage. Why do you have disadvantage?
Tia, the armor, or he's exhausted?
Good
He is a
question.
cleric now,
Oh,
so
yes.
it might be armor.
It's the armor.
Yeah.
He's wearing the blue dragon scale.
Oh
now,
yeah. Yeah, that's disadvantage.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Olive was
So
not very
he
stealthy.
has disadvantage, but the invisibility gives him advantage, so it's a normal roll.
Could be
13.
worse.
So 13
Average
plus
is what? 18.
26
26 for Vrek.
plus
Oh,
25.
you got 26.
Yeah, I added
5,
5 to mine.
Okay, that's
13 plus
that's
17.
gonna be like 19 pushing 20.
1,
Definitely, I think a 19 is
14.
closer.
19, yeah.
19
Oh, there we go.
exactly.
I don't know why I
So,
just always
19
think
exactly. You guys are making your way forwards towards the coast. You guys will go mostly unnoticed apart from the occasional passerby. You guys will deviate away from the main center town of Respite, making a slight curve towards the dock, till eventually you do see what looks to be a small encampment directly towards the north, east of Respite itself. You can see that the Lonely Cricket, including 4 vessels of the HDM, are currently docked, and there is a large tent camp that is currently being constructed and erected towards the northeast of Respite. And you can see the HDM's crest and flag is currently flying over that particular tent camp.
For anyone paying attention, it's a big deal. More than one ship of the HDM is in respite.
Yeah, no, I remember
Yeah.
the freaking line they made a while ago. Wait, is that line still like there?
You will look out and you can see that there is a scattering of ships that seem to line the coastal line of Respite and
Damn.
further up towards the north.
Also, you would know that Olive would have said that Benin did not want the HDM to have anything to do with Respite or to set up any sort of camp in Respite
Yeah,
at all.
it's a big deal that
It's
he
a
made
big
that
deal.
accord. Yeah.
You would know that they are currently right on the boundary of Respite's territory. Therefore, they are not breaking the Guild Act of Benin and are still maintaining the sanctations of the rules, but there is indeed some form of alliance between Respite and the HDM at the moment. And Harry, since he is coming with you at the moment, will definitely confirm the fact that not only the cricket has actually based itself here for the time being, but 3 other vessels
Yeah.
have actually landed here and allowed themselves to beach here for a moment is a huge
Yeah, that's
deal.
a big, like, the cricket's great.
Yeah.
3 other ships, that's huge.
You would know from Harry, since he is the only member of the HDM battalion now currently within your group, that having the cricket be docked within the town is essentially an honor for most people. However, the idea of having 4 ships, including the frigate, means that something huge is going down between the HDM and Respite, and they want to make a claim of some form of reputation. They're wanting something to go very well here. You guys start making your way towards the dock or the tent camp. Because the dock is still empty apart from the few occasional trade ships. You do see the cricket is currently in the tent camp.
Where
Probably
did
the
Roger say? He said the dock.
He did stay the dock.
I'll go to the dock.
Okay.
I will follow.
Is this in agreement?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You guys make your way towards the dock. And standing at the end with 4 figures, Daisy, that you can see. The rest of you only see 3. You see flanked directly behind Rogish, 2 figures on his right, 1 person on his left. However, Daisy would be the only one that would recognize the 4th figure, currently 20 foot back behind one of the nearby wooden pillars of the pier itself. And you can see Rogish is staring at all of you with a face of pure anger and grief. And that is where we will end our session tonight.
Okay.
Have fun deciphering my notes, nerds.
Oh, I will. I'm going to crack the tree that is olive.
There's like 3 main things in there. If you figure out one of them, I'll be impressed.
Did I do good on the
Oh,
description,
yeah.
Olive,
Yeah, yeah.
or am I
I corrected
did I
you where you
lose any
needed, but no,
major
that was
days? Okay.
pretty good.
Okay.
Awesome.
It's been a long time since we've gone into the actual deep lore of Olive,
Yep.
but now you guys are getting to see
She
Certainly.
tried to
a
warn
little
you.
bit of her mind.
She tried to warn you. And she just kept making sacrifice after sacrifice.
You did.
And she did.
There's shit going on you guys don't know about. Oh, but no, I appreciate you bringing that research to life. So that was good description. Because yeah, we spent
I mean,
a while. We spent a while getting all that information.
You guys have a paper trail.
Yeah, we do.
Sadly, a paper trail without its original creator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yep. And she is definitely not one to let people who actually find her notes to make it easily solvable. So she's like a court
Right.
stenographer. She knows her shorthand. Everybody else has no idea. So
It's enough for people to realize, like, who already knows most of the information to kind of piece little pieces together, but the main puzzle is really in all of putting it all together again.
Yeah.
But now you guys know. You guys need to go to Avon.
Well, now they know.
No, you guys knew that right from the beginning.
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I figured that's where we had to go. Quite a while ago, yeah.
Paper trail, the original mysterious doppelganger like group of grave undertaking the last time that you guys were here.
What time of day is it right now, roughly?
For you guys, as you guys are making your way to the pier, it is mid-afternoon.
Okay. Really like check Freya's shop before we leave. In all honesty.
Sure, that's a good idea.
Probably not.
Right.
No,
It's a
not
great
at all.
idea.
No.
That's the
I mean,
question now. Who do you trust?
strictly just like
Oh
in
yeah,
case you
Freya. I
bad
didn't.
idea.
We didn't have any notes on Freya. That's right. No, that was
You
in her
didn't
own.
have any notes.
That was in her. That was on Olive. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So is there anything extra from like the notes on her desk? Like besides the
You'd have
contract, all
to
that stuff?
go through them
Yeah.
Right.
because that's where I'd let Park take over essentially with some of the details that he'd allow coming from Olive's backstory.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. There'd be some stuff she'd leave in her room. A lot of the important stuff she'd keep on her. Yeah, I can figure it out. Once you go through it, of course.
You get a little hint as to why she doesn't exactly like the Harper so much.
Yeah, like the moment I saw the Harpers with like the crest of the Zentarum on their other side, and then the denial calling her a loon, Daisy fully grasped. This is why. This is exactly why. And then
Yeah.
final piece is like the locket of her mom. It's like, oh, there's so much.
Oh
Like
yeah,
Daisy's
I
just
will
realizing how
say.
fucking hard she fucked up by convincing everyone else in the party to go along with her plan.
Yeah, no, Olive has some deep story going on, which is why I liked playing her.
Sure.
Because yeah, there was a lot of layers there, and she kept everything close to the chest. Only giving out information if she was 100% certain or if it was 100% needed. Other than that, she's not telling you jack. But Vrek
I
is
have
freaking
fun making
fun.
my own law. I love making my own law. The more you guys give me, oh, I make fucking butchers out of that. I make some fucking monstrosities out of that shit.
Dude, I still have some things I need to resolve with that freaking scry because I remember you said my bomb disappeared. I've been holding that one in my back pocket for a while.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wanted scry, and there's a second reason I wanted the scrying focus. Finally have it.
Yeah. You got it.
You guys have more time to investigate, gather information.
Yep.
Look, my principal worry is an angry, pissed off, roguish. That man is dangerous.
the moment you guys step forward on that freaking pier, you just see a freaking wall of fog appear behind the group. Suddenly, Elder Scrolls boss music just suddenly
Right.
appears,
Oh,
and you just see Roguish just crack his knuckles, crack his neck. I thought I told you to look after my friend.
and then all of a
Harry
sudden,
puts
a
gun to
giant
the back
red
of someone's
bar
head, it's like, oh,
appears.
shit.
Giant red bar
Giant
appears in
red
the
bar
sky.
appears.
Actually, it's a pretty good one.
Everything's
I
gonna be
hear.
fine.
And
Suddenly,
then the
the
title is
goblin
Roguish
just
and the Apprentice. And you're like, wait, Apprentice? And then, yeah, you hear Harry's gun cock.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh boy.
It's finally time to prove yourself, my apprentice. Just looks over at Harry. Just looks at all of you. You fools. You didn't know I've been doing this the whole time. Just like loads freaking olive branch.
No, everybody looks to the right as Harry has everybody perfectly lined up for a shotgun blast.
On the bright side, I still have Death Ward up, so I'm better
Thank
off than
you.
all of you.
I have a good bit of health. I think I
There
can
you go.
Oh, you guys still have the temporary health, by the way. That doesn't go away until you lose it or take a long rest.
Hey, nice.
Oh.
All right, lads, I'm heading off. Talk to you guys
Alright.
later.
Yeah, about that
Bye-bye.
time.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah, everyone have a good night.
See you next week.
See you guys.
See ya.